Ladies and gentlemen, this is simply a feature-length film of every single Ranting for Vengeance video I've uploaded. Every last drop, if you will. The guy in the thumbnail was made by an individual named Ollie. His TikTok will be linked in the description below.
I also want to give a brief shout out to all the artists in my server that have made fan art of me. Every time I see it, it just makes me a little more happier. It brightens my day that much more.
I figured I should also give you guys a brief public service announcement. There is a very cringe video in here that I made before the first renaissance of the Snowbricks96 channel. And since these are all in chronological order from oldest to newest, it's probably the first video you're gonna see, unless I fucked something up on my end. Just one more thing before we get into the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, obviously. Be sure to become a channel member and join my Discord server, link in the description below. And without further ado, please enjoy this feature-length film. What's up, guys? Everyone's favorite ghost stand, Snowbricks96, back again with another weekly video. Sorry, I had to wipe something off my face. Hope you guys are all having a great day. I know I am, alright? I actually just got back from a trip to Disneyland. It was pretty fire, not gonna lie, alright? Shout out to my parents for being the real ones. And yeah, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. Let's hop straight into the comment of the week. Comment of the week status goes to the real Nifs, who just says, my favorite ghost stand, alright? I am everyone's favorite ghost stand. It is part of the introduction. It's a whole thing. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I am here to talk about today, alright, is this new anti-woke grifter that's in town called Ranting for Vengeance, alright? And boy oh boy, alright, just going into this guy's channel page, you just realize that it's gonna be a trip, alright? Because this is genuinely some of like the most like 12-year-old edgelord stuff I've ever seen, alright? Hey y'all, come look at this. Alright, so to start off, we have Ranting for Vengeance, which is already kind of an edgy name. Then we have his banner, which says, Ranting for Vengeance, death to all posers. And his channel description, which is, and I quote, a man without hope is a man without fear, bro. Top 10 Sigma quotes of 2024. Alright, bro. This is genuinely, like, one of the most edgy things I've ever seen. Alright, I'm pretty sure Shadow the Hedgehog is not as edgy as this man. Alright, buddy, calm down. Now, remember how I said that Mr. Ranting for Vengeance is the new anti-woke grifter in town, right? I mean that, right? Because I'm pretty sure he's racist.
In there and turn them black. And turn them black.
Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think normal people say the word black like that, alright? Why did he put emphasis on it, bro? Why did he say the word black like that, alright? Most racist people, whenever they say the word black, they put emphasis on it, right? Like that guy did, right? Turn them black, alright? He really emphasized it there. And, yeah, just from looking at this guy's videos, you can tell he does not like diversity, like, at all. So we got Indiana Jones is woke, we got woke mob, we got woke shit, we got the truth with the pride flag about Wolverine. They got pride flag again with men kissing. They got woke trash. They got woke shit again. They got the truth, woke $1 million franchise. They got reject wokeness. Alright, bro. Oh, I feel like this is like that one meme of that dude being like, y'all got any more of that crack? Or like, y'all got any more of that reject wokeness? Y'all got any more of that woke trash? Y'all got any more of that woke shit? Alright? This is slop commentary at its finest, right? I know one of the biggest criticisms about commentary YouTubers is like, oh, they talk about it's like, oh, they don't act anything of substance. Yeah, this is slop commentary in its finest, right? This is a good example of what is wrong with commentary YouTubers, right? This is absolute slop. This is dog shit. Why do people watch this? Alright? This guy's moderately popular too. He has like 2,000 subscribers, alright? Who is watching this? Alright? I'm assuming that like most of the people are like clicking on the thumbnails because the thumbnails are like so outrageous where it's like woke garbage, woke shit, reject wokeness, blah, 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 blah. But I guarantee you, there are some people, right, a small faction who are unironically watching this man, alright? And I won't lie, alright? I'm exposing myself here. I used to be like this man, alright? I used to be very anti-woke, and I look back on it and I cringe from the bottom of my soul because it's so goofy, right? It is so it is, I don't know, it's stupid, right? Why do you hate woke people so much? All right, what is the point? Why? Just why? Why are you? Why would you? Who did you? Why? I mean, maybe I shouldn't really be so shocked. All right, I'm pretty sure. All right, I think this guy's Scottish, and I'm not surprised. I'm pretty sure most Scottish people are racist. That's a joke. All right, I don't think all Scottish people are racist, but seriously, you can tell that he's Scottish, not because, Scots are part of, Brits, all right? And you can tell that he's British, all right? Just kind of like an umbrella. He's kind of like under the British umbrella because of his teeth, bro. What are those, all right? Do they not have dental care in the UK? Could you not afford insurance with all that clickbait money, bro? What are those? Those aren't pearly whites, those are pearly yellows, alright? You got some gold bars for teeth, alright? God damn. Also, bro, you're like 15, alright? How do you have the hairline of a 34-year-old accountant who's just stuck in a loveless marriage with 3 kids? Alright, bro? I could do my geometry homework on your forehead, and there would still be room left. God damn. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, alright? I do a comment of the week to people who comment first on the video. Alright, I think I might do comment of the week if you do a super thanks, so please donate. Please donate. I need money. Alright, I have to pay off the cartel. Alright, I'm in serious debt. Please help. But seriously though, on a real note, alright, I love you guys. Alright, I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers before the end of the year, which now that I think about it, I probably won't do unless this video goes mega viral. So help it go mega viral, and yeah. That's it. I hope you guys all had a great day. I'm out. Peace. Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, everyone's least favorite comic book / movie reviewer decided to grace my For You page today with his presence. That's right, I'm talking about Ranting for Vengeance. Give it up for the Sultan of Slop himself. And oh boy, does he have quite the video for me to react to. Now, if you don't know who Ranting for Vengeance is, then he's basically the newest addition to the anti-woke grift squad. He's basically Andy Pants Gaming, but if Andy Pants Gaming looked at like comic books and superhero movies instead of video games, and he was way more obvious about not liking gay people. I mean, according to Ranting for Vengeance, Avengers Doomsday will be a woke disaster, The Batman Part 2 will be a woke disaster, and Spider-Man Brand New Day will be, you guessed it, a woke disaster. All of these movies haven't come out yet, and he's judging them for extremely arbitrary reasons. But all of these videos pale in comparison to what I call his pinnacle of garbage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, James Gunn is a freak who doesn't understand superhero movies. Let's hop right on in.
Fantastic Four is a flop, as I predicted in my videos before the movie even came out, and it seems that Superman is going down the same route.
I don't know what people are talking about when they say Superman 2025 was a flop, when it made around $615 million, which far surpassed its production budget of $225 million.
But an army of freaks, along with the mega handicapped freak James Gunn, are coping about it. Also, across the internet, many clips from the behind the scenes of Superman have gone viral because it's revealing James Gunn to be a massive spastic, and a lot of fans are realizing.
You know, when he said that behind the scenes clips of Superman were going viral, I thought he was going to say that it exposed James Gunn for being like a huge douche or a creepy dude, but instead he says that he's a quote-unquote spastic, and that a lot of his fans are realizing this, yet I haven't heard a single thing about James Gunn being a quote-unquote spastic.
But before we get into it, if you like these videos and you want to help out the channel, maybe consider subscribing or supporting me over on Patreon. So I've made enough goddamned videos about Superman and Fantastic Four.
Yeah, you're telling me, bro, you have like 5 separate videos on Superman, bro. Holy glazing.
But this is a video I want to make because I want to highlight the fact that James Gunn does not understand superheroes. He does not understand filmmaking. He doesn't understand Superman. He does not understand the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Clearly, Ranting for Vengeance is not the fan he makes himself out to be, as a big thing with superheroes is that they help people, and James Gunn's Superman does just that, with many people saying that Superman 2025 is one of the most comic-accurate portrayals of Superman, right behind Richard Donner's Superman, All-Star Superman, etc., etc. Also, why did he add like a little gay flag on Star-Lord? And I don't mean gay flag as in like, oh, that's not cool, that's gay, like a middle schooler. I mean like he added like a gay pride flag on Star-Lord. He does realize that Star-Lord was in a relationship with Gamora, right?
The fact that he's at the head of DC is so retarded, it's hilarious. But before I show you the absolute state of comic book superhero fans and the behind the scenes of Superman, first of all, I just need to get it out there that I don't care what you say, I will never ever tolerate James Gunn's freaky behavior. And I'm not alone in that. You can say what you want about this movie and you can attack people who disagree with you, but the plain and simple fact is, James Gunn is a freak who likes kids.
So, if you have no idea what the hell Ranting for Vengeance is talking about, allow me to enlighten you. Basically, back in the late 2000s and early 2010s, James Gunn made a lot of edgy jokes about sensitive topics such as rape, pedophilia, AIDS, 9/11, etc. These were all made on Twitter. And when these jokes were uncovered and publicized, he made a public apology about how that's not the person who he is, and how he was, a different man back then. This was before James Gunn became a household name. And because of these tweets, James Gunn was fired by Disney, but then the whole cast of Guardians of the Galaxy publicly rallied around him and said, we support him. Obviously, the jokes were in poor taste, but that's not the man who he is now. And he was eventually rehired by Disney. He made Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and it banged.
I'll never ever give up on that. I'll never get tired of saying it, because some things in life are just a plain and simple fact, and this is one of them. Not to mention that his movies are also freaky woke pieces of shit. Every single one of them. There's no defending it. I've watched most of this guy's movies. They all suck.
It's hilarious to me that Ranting for Vengeance, a guy who has made his entire identity about hating cancel culture and the woke mob, quote unquote, is doing exactly what the woke mob does, where he digs up edgy jokes that someone made in 2009 or something and tries to spin some type of narrative out of it.
They're never accurate to the characters or the comics, and he usually creates something brand new, weird and freaky for himself. And this is when we get onto Superman, where he just decided to ditch Superman and bring in some gay cock, which you already know if you manage to watch this absolute abomination.
Another thing that Ranting for Vengeance tends to do is call random characters gay. For example, he calls David Cornsweat a gay cuck, despite the fact that A, Ranting for Vengeance looks more like a cuck than anyone I've ever seen, and B, David Cornsweat mocks this greasy bastard in pretty much every conceivable way.
But the behind the scenes really gets down to the root of this garbage.
He starts saying, I don't know if I feel this.
The whole crew's sitting around waiting come on, let's shoot, let's get this done.
So great, but the is it am I just demonstrating? So if I say that's what it is to be human, that feels like I'm trying to prove it still, as opposed to I really know it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop it there because already it's extremely retarded. It's unbelievably cringe that they're hyping up this moment as if it is the best thing ever made. And David Cornsweat, I don't really have anything massive against the guy, but he comes to James Gunn and immediately James Gunn is laughing in his face, doing that sneering pedo laugh.
He's laughing. The biggest reach this video, bro. Biggest reach this entire goddamn video, right? The pedo snare. Okay, bro. Pack it up. Get out of here, bro.
There's already a terrible job at directing, where an actor comes to you and says, I don't really feel that this is what the character would do. And you laugh into their face, like an absolute handicap.
Oh my god, bro. I'm pretty sure the grease in this guy's hair is seeping into his brain, right? At what point does James Gunn get up and laugh in David Cornsweat's face, bro? Did we watch the same footage? It just looks like he's smiling, he laughs a little bit, and then David Cornsweat talks to him, bro. I don't know what this guy's on about, bro. He has to be schizophrenic or something, because there's no way that we watched the same video and came to the same conclusion.
But all that aside, when Cornsweat himself is actually trying to talk with him, he starts putting on this voice, which is not Superman. I don't know what it is. It's an autistic teenager that needs to stop using Adderall and TikTok.
Oh my god, bro. It's called acting, you dingleberry, right? What, was he just supposed to read off the script with a monotone voice? No inflection, no emotion, no nothing. Was he just supposed to be like, and that's what it means to be human, Lex. I am more human than you are. Like, no, the movie would have sucked then, right? I don't get it. This guy makes these really, really weird criticisms and expects people to take him seriously.
If I say, that's what it is to be human, that's what it is to be human.
What the fuck?
Really, since when is Superman some weak bitch?
You know, I never really understood that criticism of the Superman movie, that Superman is weak, because the only two times we really see Superman struggling fighting is when A, he was just exposed to kryptonite, and B, he's struggling against Ultraman, who is a literal clone of him and is said to be stronger. So the only times we see him struggling against something in a fight is A, after he was just exposed to his greatest weakness, and B, when he's literally fighting himself.
I really don't like Zack Snyder. I don't like Man of Steel, so I'm not comparing it to that.
It's gotten to a point where I genuinely can't tell what this guy wants from his superhero media, because he hates the Gunn universe, he hates the Snyder universe, he hates Absolute Batman, he hates Man of Steel, he hates Superman 2025, he hates basically everything that DC and Marvel put out, and it's gotten to the point where, like, what do you want, alright? My question is, right, what are this guy's views on Invincible? Because anyone who likes Invincible can't be all that bad, right? I wonder what this guy's views are.
I'm comparing it to the character of Superman. I've read John Byrne's Man of Steel. I did not hear this squeaky ass voice.
Here's the thing, bro. You're basing your entire perception of a character off of one comic book series, because, you know, most people know that there's, like, different versions of the same character, right? You have, like, main Superman, Man of Steel Superman, Injustice Superman, All-Star Superman, man, you know, etc., etc., and it just goes on and on. So basing your, like, entire perception of a character off of one singular version, instead of, you know, like, looking at all the other characters, you know, seeing what there is to offer, is just kind of stupid, bro.
But anyways, let's continue with this dumpster fire.
Is this not the moment where I go, I was wrong to feel that way?
That's exactly where the issue is, right? Because what he didn't tell you was it was wrong to feel that way. There are feelings and there are thoughts. Your feelings about feeling bad are okay. It's not wrong for you to feel that way. You should just, it's not right or wrong anything. None of it is right or wrong. All of it is being vulnerable.
You know, I'm just gonna make a prediction here and say that Ranting for Vengeance calls this gay.
So everything is not right and wrong. What you're feeling is not right and wrong. It's also right and wrong. Whatever the fuck that means. And also, I'm just saying, if I was David Cornsweat and I make a valid criticism, why the hell am I acting like this in the movie? And your reaction is to stand up and start pushing me, I'd smash your pedo glasses back into your freaky face.
Big fella! Big fella! Sit down, big fella!
Bro, who does this kid think he is? Like, genuinely, bro. He thinks that he's like some sort of fighting god, bro. He thinks he's like one of those guys who's like, yeah, I could probably beat your ass. In fact, if I was getting jumped by like 5 guys, I would backflip over the first guy, shoe punch the second guy, then, you know, you get the point, bro. Like, this guy's one of those dudes who's like never been in a fight before, yet thinks that they could take on like the entire continent.
Really, it's not a joke. People like this, when they get too close to you and start spazzing out over feelings, probably just need to be knocked out.
Which means showing Lex that your feelings are hurt. In the point when you really shouldn't.
Okay, new prediction. He's gonna call that gay, alright? Just like the way he zoomed in on the pat on the back, I know he's gonna call it gay.
I'll just pause it again because we have a massive revelation. We know why Superman is some squeaky voiced bitch in the entire movie. Because everything from James Gunn is a self-insert. The dude does not know how to write or make movies. Superman is not Superman in this movie. It's a self-insert of James Gunn.
And you got this all from a pat on the back? What, can you read minds, bro? Can you certify that, like, James Gunn is a cuck and David Cornsweat is, like, a gay cuck or whatever?
It's my greatest strength.
Which means showing Lex that your feelings are hurt.
Crypto is not Superman's dog, it's James Gunn's dog. The kind of back and forth troubled relationship is probably like a relationship James Gunn had because he likes kids and had to break up with his wife or something. James Gunn just spat all over your face, spazzing out over feelings. and you're running out there determined, like, okay, now I get it. This explains it, why the movie is absolutely terrible. It's undeniably, objectively a terrible movie.
Really, bro? Are you sure about that? Like, are you really sure about that? Like, just to clarify, are you really sure about that?
Get scared. I wake up every morning and despite not knowing what to do, I put one foot in front of the other and I try to make the best choices I can. And every time you say that I don't belong, it hurts my feelings. That's being human. And that's my greatest strength.
So, this might be the gayest video ever created.
Listen, man, I'm not sure, but I think you and me have different measures of gayness, you know? Because when I think of gay, I think of men kissing. And last time I checked, there were no men kissing in that video, right? See what I mean? This guy reaches a lot, right? He calls, like, random stuff gay.
Corn Sweat is doing his thing, everybody's watching, and he's just screaming and squeaking like an autistic kid.
Oh my god, bro. Can we go, like, 5 minutes without the autism criticism, bro? Every time I watch this guy's videos on Superman, it's always just, Superman is gay and autistic, and he's woke, and he fucking sucks, and you shouldn't watch him, bro. Like, come on, can you come up with some better criticism, bro? Like, lock in, alright? You can come up with something good.
And all James Gunn can do is sit there and literally cry. The dude is weeping like a little bitch and doing whatever the hell this is with his face.
Did we watch the same video? Like, genuinely, bro. Like, is the grease from your hair seeping into your brain? I must ask again, because there's no way that we watched the same video, and you, like, saw James Gunn bursting into tears at the sight of David Cornsweat's performance because it was so terrible, bro. Like, I think James Gunn is just happy to see his version of Superman coming to life.
It couldn't be that good. I'm sorry. Did Richard Donner, back when he made Superman the movie, grab Christopher Reeve and go, it's about feelings. What you're feeling is not right or wrong. Then pat him on the back and laugh in his face, and then start weeping on the sideline like a bitch. What the hell is this video? I'm sorry, what the hell is this entire production? Calm the hell down. Hold off on the standing ovations. This is one of the worst superhero performances ever made. And now we get onto the people on the internet who are getting tens of thousands of likes, freaking out, attacking people who don't like this movie.
Please, bro, give me one example of someone being attacked because they didn't like Superman, right? Because I guarantee you at least half the people complaining, oh, I've been attacked because I don't like Superman, had like some horrifically abysmal take on Superman, like you, right now, and people called them out.
This is directing. He's getting what he wants out of the actor. So let me get this straight. Crying into some dude's face about your feelings is directing. Oh.
And crying on the internet about how a movie is quote-unquote woke is commentary.
Okay, I'll take notes next time. And we have another clip here that's making the rounds. It's just filled with cringe. I'm sorry. The entire thing is more of the same.
Because I didn't make it easy for him.
There's no anger in any of this at all. There's no ego. There's a reason why he's asking these questions, because it makes it better.
And David wrote me that night. He texted me. He said that was my favorite day ever on set with a director. And I said, yeah, I think that was my favorite day too. But that was my favorite day ever on set with a director. And I said, yeah,
I don't know who did the edit on these behind the scenes videos, but they're trying to make it out to be like an epic movie.
That's why it was an epic movie, you dingleberry, right? Why do you think the critic reviews are so high? Why do you think the movie got so much money? It wasn't because the movie was bad, I'll tell you that.
When you watch that scene where he gives the speech about hope and how he's human and how his feelings are hurt, it all gets interrupted when some little gay dog runs in and knocks over the villain. I don't give a rat's ass about some cute little dog. Superman is in the defining moment of his character and the movie, and he's failing at that also. And the takeaway for the queers here on Twitter is that you're just misinterpreting basic human interactions because you don't go outside and you don't talk to people.
Brother, you are the last person to talk about social interaction and going outside, right? You look like a nerdy vampire.
It's always attacking the person and not the argument, because the argument in both clips still stands. James Gunn is an egotistical, narcissistic freak.
Yeah, and your argument for these claims is that he patted someone on the back and that he talked to one of the actors with a little bit of passion in his voice.
All you can do is ignore the criticism, the truth, and start attacking people for not knowing about basic social human interactions.
James Gunn talked to an actor with emotion in his voice and patted him on the back. and somehow, because of all of this, he's some sort of egotistical freak, in your words, right? He is an egotistical freak because he talked to an actor with emotion in his voice and patted him on the back. Does that make you an egotistical freak because you're talking with a lot of emotion right now?
Shove it up your ass.
Hey, yo, self-projecting much?
You have another
Alright, he's gonna call them autistic, gay, or spastic. I'm calling it right now, bro. He's gonna call the person on screen one of those things.
Looted spastic.
Let's fucking go. I locked in. I called it, bro. I can tell the future. I'm gonna quit YouTube and I'm gonna become a psychic.
We have another stereotypical deluded spastic here, saying that there could not be a better clip to illustrate a director doing his job incredibly well. And of course, half the internet has the opposite takeaway.
Listen, bro. I think you might be the half of the internet that has the opposite takeaway that he's talking about, right? Just a thought. I think you might be the other half of the internet.
Sorry to break it to people like this and people who hate on my videos, but you basically just need to go watch more movies.
Oh, I thought you were gonna call me gay, or autistic, or a spastic, you know, just like one of those three. I thought you were gonna do one of those three things, right? I'm a little shocked, honestly.
From all different time periods, genres, countries, go away and do it. Then come back and talk about how incredible directing is. Because I'm sorry, pal, but you're shit out of luck. This is not it. Pointing into somebody's face and crying about your own self-inserted feelings is not directing.
Nah, bro, I think you need a little more media literacy under your belt, bud. Because according to you, Lex Luthor in Superman is gay, but also an allegory for Trump.
We have another homo here. It's so awesome how no one understands what a director's job is.
Yeah, and you're one of those people, you media illiterate troglodyte. James Gunn is directing a movie, and you're like, nah, that's not real directing. What qualifies you to know what is and isn't real directing?
Nope, I'm pretty sure I know what the director's job is, and their job is to direct the actor to do what they want on film, to do what the character would do from the script or whatever it's based upon.
And that is exactly what James Gunn is doing, you illiterate buffoon. He's telling David Cornsweet, alright, this is what you gotta do, and David Cornsweet does it, alright? Please explain to me what James Gunn is doing wrong.
He's not directing anybody to do anything other than act retarded. Speaking of which, just case in point, look what they had David Cornsweet doing on set. And because James Gunn is a moron who's always online arguing with people, somebody asked him about Superman's budget and how much it needs to make to break even. And once again with the ad hominem attacks, James Gunn doesn't even address the issue. He just starts saying that you don't understand how a movie is made and you don't understand the film industry.
Okay, bro, are we reading the same tweet? When does James Gunn go on the attack and say, oh, if you don't understand Superman's budgeting issue, then you're a retard who doesn't understand the film industry? Like, he explains how it works, and you're like, oh yeah, James Gunn, he went on the attack.
You don't understand the difference, James Gunn, of being a normal, decent human being who tries their best, and being a sick bastard like yourself.
And you apparently don't seem to understand the concept of humor, because it's very obvious that these are jokes, alright? Clearly, alright? If you have, you know, an IQ higher than 5, right? Speaking of humor, maybe put some in your videos because goddamn, they are unbearable, bro. It's just you bitching at the camera about how this movie is woke and it's trash and it's this and that, bro, alright? Maybe if you had, you know, a little humor or something like that in your videos, they would be much more bearable.
James Gunn knows absolutely nothing about superheroes or comic books. I'll just put that out there. He can bring up some knowledge and try to adapt some stuff he was given from a comic book, but you know nothing about Superman or Batman.
Okay, bro. Actual criticism instead of just calling someone gay or autistic. That's something I can actually respond to with something of substance. That's good. Okay, so what was your criticism again? James Gunn doesn't know how to write comic book characters. That's interesting because last time I checked, people said that James Gunn's movie was one of the most comic accurate movies, right? It's praised as one of the most comic accurate movies right after what you mentioned, Christopher Reeve's Superman, right? So I don't know what you're sitting here telling me, oh, James Gunn does not know how to properly adapt comic book movies. I don't know, man. I feel like he did it pretty well.
Even with Batman, if I was doing Batman, I could get into it. Like, Batman's a maniac. So yeah, he puts on scary bat costume and goes out and tries to scare people.
Keep him away from DC, Marvel, comic books, Superman, and especially Batman. Cause what the fuck are you talking about? Batman is a maniac who puts on a costume to scare criminals. I'd really get into that if I was doing Batman. People like this are a disease, and the only cure is, I don't know, a good right hook.
Alright, bro, well, can you please tell me how it's wrong, alright? Batman is a maniac who puts on a costume and scares criminals, alright? Not sure about the maniac part, but he says that the whole point of the bat costume is to scare criminals. Also, I don't know who the hell you think you are with the whole, the cure for these people is a good right hook. Buddy, I'm willing to bet that you can't throw a punch for shit.
And the people coping on here, fake fans of Batman and comic books, saying that if you're mad at this, you've succumbed to this propaganda about the Wayne family. You're speaking a big load of garbage. He's not a maniac, he never was, for a good 50 years. Just because some postmodernist writer comes in a brand new crappy movie or comic does not make it canon. Read any classic Batman comic, Denny O'Neil, watch Mask of the Phantasm, the best Batman movie ever made. Is Batman insane? I don't think so. He is not a maniac. Another spastic here. Actual Batman fans aren't mad at this at all. He's an effing maniac and Bruce would admit that himself. Would he? Ever? Because I've never seen it. Did he do it in the Denny O'Neil run? Did he do it in any run out of the 80s by Alan Grant, John Wagner, I don't know, Doug Mensch? Did he do it at any point during the animated series? Or are you just a fake fan who needs to go screw themselves and just get a load of this shit that's been making the rounds? People are saying that he should direct a Spider-Man movie and, dear God, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Okay, so I'll make this quick. If you know nothing about TMNT, they're some of the most badass and underrated comic characters of all time.
Okay, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Alright, Ranting for Vengeance is actually correct on this one, because when it comes to most modern Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles media, it's pretty watered down. Because in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics, the Turtles were a lot more brutal. They actually killed people. Like in the first issue, they just straight up killed Shredder.
You can check out my video on it if you want to get into the franchise. But even if you know just the smallest bit about it, you know that James Gunn should not be anywhere near it. Spider-Man is bad enough because he'd ruin everything about the character. He'd self-insert some gay crap. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I don't know who made this tweet, but you, my friend, are mentally handicapped.
Listen, man, I don't know why this guy keeps saying that James Gunn is a bad director, because all of James Gunn's projects do well, alright? People like Peacemaker, people like Suicide Squad, people like Superman, people like his projects, bro. That's why he's CEO of DC now.
And to finish off this video, James Gunn has announced the Superman Saga. What a stupid name. What is it with these pretentious bullshit directors like Matt Reeves who say it's the Batman Matt Reeves Saga? Who the hell wants that? People just want an entertaining Superman or Batman movie. We don't want the Brave and the Bold or the Superman Saga. We don't want the people making these movies crying on set, having big squeaky autistic bitch voices.
Bro, you are the last man who should be complaining about squeaky autistic bitch voices or whatever, right? Your voice is quite possibly one of the most grating things I've ever heard in my entire life.
Talking about kids in a really weird way. People just want a comic accurate Superman or Batman movie.
And we got one. What are you complaining about?
And the Matt Reeves Batman saga and all of these different sagas are none of that. And any real true comic book fan out there knows it. So if you agreed with anything I said in this video and you want to see more content like this, do let me know and maybe consider subscribing. And if you're part of the horde of gay retards out there who love James Gunn and this movie, go screw yourself and go complain to your boyfriend.
Oh, thank God it's over. I can finally rest. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, become a channel member, all that great stuff. Make sure to join my Discord server, link in the description. Comment of the week status goes to ShrewW3X, who simply says, good. And that's all. I'll see you guys next week. I'm out. Peace. Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited. You want to know why? Because Ranting for Vengeance said something stupid again. And I'm going to talk about it, because, according to him, the Wolverine game will be woke slop. Confirmed, apparently. Now, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. Let's get straight into the video.
We finally have a trailer for Insomniac's long-awaited Wolverine game, and people are saying it looks great and lives up to the hype. And as a big fan of the character of Wolverine, it does look good to an extent.
Wait, pause, alright? What the hell happened to Ranting for Vengeance, bro? He looks like he's been neutered. This is not the Ranting for Vengeance I know and hate, alright? Where's the malice, the hatred, the venom, right? Hashtag not my Ranting for Vengeance. Please tell me this kid wasn't replaced by AI. If he was, I'm gonna kill myself.
Because throughout all of these trailers and posts, people are leaving out one crucial detail. And I'm not gonna clickbait you or try to make you watch the entire video. I'm just gonna tell it to you straight. This game is confirmed as feminist garbage.
Oh my god, this guy does this every video about like an upcoming movie or TV show. He'll say, oh, confirmed woke slop, guys. It's confirmed woke slop. And then he'll never provide any proof of said thing being woke slop. Like, he'll never like provide a Reddit post, a Twitter post. He'll never provide anything of it being woke slop, bro. He'll be like, oh, it's woke slop. Source my asshole.
I'm not a fan of the modern comic Wolverine that is nothing like the character. I'm a fan of the real Wolverine from Chris Claremont's full Uncanny X-Men, ranging from the 70s all the way up to the early 90s. Claremont created a character that was this anti-hero that could only really be found if you were reading underground comics or manga. Wolverine didn't wear a cape. He wasn't some pacifist Boy Scout. He was like a mix of Batman and Daredevil, where at his minimum, he was a badass character in the team of the X-Men all the way through the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And at the maximum potential of the character, like we saw in the Claremont Miller miniseries that you should read, it's basically the gateway to the character. Probably up there with the excellent Conan-style origin story Weapon X for being one of the best Wolverine stories ever made. In that miniseries, in Weapon X, in his entire solo series, which is also awesome, the writers and artists take inspiration from pulp fantasy like Conan, and also hard-boiled pulp fiction and film noir, creating the Wolverine that's always smoking a cigarette, drinking, dealing with a femme fatale in some dark city. That is the character of Wolverine. He's like a hard-boiled detective that's darker than even Daredevil.
Dear God, holy yap session, man. Are we gonna get to the part where you talk about Wolverine being confirmed woke slop?
Up there with Daredevil for my favorite character at Marvel. By no means is he some forgettable background character like in every brand new comic, or Hugh Jackman in a wife beater running around screaming. And I could talk about the classic comics all day, but I don't know if you want to see that, so if you do, let me know.
No, I don't. I gotta be honest, I don't really care. I only watched you so that I can react to you and make fun of your terrible takes.
But that takes me to the Wolverine game, which I'm not really going to be all negative about and say that it looks like total garbage, because it doesn't. As a Wolverine fan, you can't resist that the game is set in Tokyo and Madripoor, two locations that are taken straight from the great comics of Wolverine.
Okay, so that poses two good questions. Question number one, why are you hating? And question number two, how is this confirmed woke slop? You haven't said anything about it being confirmed woke slop, bro. Where is the woke slop, right? This is what I came here for. You're not delivering.
That seems to be the case with this game. There's a lot of stuff taken straight from the comics, like the fact that you have the brown and tan suit and the patch suit. And just a quick side note about the patch era of Wolverine. Many people do not know what that is, and you shouldn't really call yourself a Wolverine fan if you haven't done the research or even read these comics. Basically, when Wolverine finally got his solo run in the 80s, which is absolutely awesome by the way, in this underrated run that is great work from Chris Claremont to John Buscema, and later improved upon by G.I. Joe writer Larry Hama and the excellent artist Mark Silvestri, creating a new persona for Wolverine where he didn't wear the brown and tan suit or the yellow and blue one. Instead, he was taken directly from Humphrey Bogart from Casablanca, constantly seen in a white suit, smoking with an eye patch. Now, modern comic book fans who have no respect laugh at this and not see that it's one of the coolest things ever made. But anyways, the patch suit is in the game, and the Asian country Madripoor where Wolverine stayed with all these seedy bars and gangs. So I will have to give massive respect to the game for doing that. And as you—
Bro, this guy's actually complimenting the source material? This truly is not my Ranting for Vengeance, bro. The Ranting for Vengeance I know and hate would not be doing this, bro. He would be like, oh, this is woke. It's all woke.
As you can see from the trailers, it does look great. Wolverine riding a motorcycle with Arkham-style stealth and combat. And by God, as a Daredevil and Wolverine fan, we do need a proper game like this. And that is one of the problems with this game. It just looks like God of War mixed with Arkham and Spider-Man. And speaking of Spider-Man, that leads me into the main issue of this game. Now,
alright, finally, thank God it's woke slop time, fellas. Get your popcorn buckets out. We're gonna hear this guy and his terrible takes, alright? I wonder, how can this be confirmed woke slop, alright? Please, enlighten me, Mr. Ranting for Vengeance.
I was positive for a bit. The game does look badass, but at the same time, why is the suit some tactical Christopher Nolan variation instead of the actual character's costume?
Listen, man, this is something that I've seen a lot where, like, they're pointing out, like, oh, why does Logan have armor? Like, man, just because he can, like, get shot and survive doesn't mean that he, like, wants to be shot. Even then, this doesn't look too bad. This is just like a more like tactical rendition of the classic Wolverine suit.
Does Logan look and sound nothing like his character?
Okay, number one, this does look like Wolverine from the comics, it's just a bad angle. And number two, and most importantly, you can hear comic books.
More importantly, this is Insomniac we're dealing with. The people who gave us Spider-Man Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2.
Dog, it is a Black Lives Matter painting, alright? Quit acting like you fight alongside Antifa to overthrow the government, okay? Also, why are we hating on Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2? Both Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2 were very positively received.
Spider-Man 2 because I was a really big fan of Spider-Man at the time and wanted a good Spider-Man game that stayed faithful to the character. And I thought I was gonna get that, but what did I get instead? A big load of gay black people.
Gay black people. Gay black people ruined Spider-Man. Oh my god, someone has to put that on a t-shirt, bro. I would low-key buy that.
Hey, do you want to play as Miles Morales, the fake Spider-Man, going around at festivals with other people of color? And do you also want to play as his deaf girlfriend for some reason?
You know, when Ranting for Vengeance is criticizing something, he usually seems to have this sort of odd fixation on the character's skin color. Like, that's a little strange, buddy. Why is that?
All of the female characters are feminist bitches like Mary Jane Watson in Spider-Man 2. So how is that gonna mix? Wolverine, a character who is always dealing with femme fatales like a noir detective, is instead gonna get punched in the nuts by some bitch. And you can already see some of this from the leaks. Now I probably have to watch my words here, or maybe I don't, because nobody really gives a crap.
Oh my god, he's probably gonna say something racist, isn't he? Alright, how much do you want to bet that he's just gonna say the N-word?
Using the internet,
I'm sorry, bro. I couldn't resist. Alright, I'll get back to the video.
Using the internet, let's just say I borrowed a little sneak peek of Wolverine a few months ago.
So you're telling me that the entire reason why you know Wolverine is confirmed woke slop is because you played the game way earlier than it was supposed to come out, and it wasn't great?
I'm not lying.
Yes, you are.
I managed to get it up and running, and I'll tell you the truth. This game is hiding something that it's not showing anybody in any of the trailers.
You know, if I go to the comment section on any of this guy's other videos, they're all like agreeing with him. It's like an echo chamber. The comment section on this video, they decided to rise up because they realized that this man is a clown. He's a certified clown. He's a buffoon. He acts buffoonish. Actually, no, buffoons are funny. He's making a fool of himself.
You don't just play as Wolverine in this game. You also have to play as Jean Grey.
Okay, bro. So you're telling me that you supposedly stumbled across an unfinished version of the Wolverine game, which was bad, and now you're saying that you get to play as Jean Grey? Like that's like your whole thing? Like, oh, you have to play as Jean Grey, guys. Isn't this so woke? Isn't this so terrible? I mean, that doesn't sound too bad. If done right, I think this could be interesting.
You also have to play as Jean Grey in these 4 sections that go on for way too long.
Wow, the unfinished version of the game that you supposedly played might not be all that great and might have some balancing issues. Who could have thought of that?
Nobody's telling you that. And Jean Grey is not a feminist character, but knowing Insomniac, they're gonna make her insufferable. And also, the game is called Wolverine. Why am I playing as 2 different characters?
Bro, we're still mainly playing as Wolverine. Different characters can show up in different media. If you were playing a character completely unrelated to Wolverine, then maybe you would have a point. But Jean Grey is part of Wolverine's story, and even then, that's your main reason as to why this game will be woke, is because you played an unfinished version of it that you found on the deep web?
Literally, right now, I'll tell you from first-hand experience, the Logan in this game is weak and gay and not at all masculine.
I don't know, man. He appeared to be pretty masculine and not gay and not woke in the trailer, but hey, what do I know, alright? I'm just a lonely, media-illiterate commoner, alright? I haven't played this supposedly free version of Wolverine that's just out there on the dark web waiting to be downloaded.
You know, like the exact opposite of Logan. And you have to play as Jean Grey for full sections of the game. But as a fan of Wolverine, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want to do. And that means I might even just play this game. But
oh, this game sucks, and it's woke, and it's garbage, but I'm gonna buy it. But it sucks, and it's woke, and you shouldn't buy it, but I'm still still gonna buy it. But it sucks, and it's garbage. You know, it just sounds to me like you just want to play the game, bro. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't gotta do, like, this whole song and dance of, like, oh, it's woke, and, like, I played the unfinished version of the game, and it's garbage, but I'm still gonna buy it. But, like, it sucks and it's woke, and you shouldn't buy it, guys, but I'm still gonna buy it. Like, bro, you already played the game. You know, what else is there to do?
I am warning you that this game is gonna be feminist, and it is gonna be woke.
This game is gonna be feminist and woke. Source, my ass. Like, bro, you've provided absolutely no proof whatsoever that this game is gonna be woke and feminist, right? All you've done is just say, oh yeah, I played the unfinished version of this game a year before it was supposed to come out, and it wasn't good, so you guys shouldn't buy this game.
I'm just too big a fan of the character to give up an opportunity to play an actual Wolverine game.
Dog, just say that you want to play the game. Like, you don't gotta do like this weird song and dance where the game is woke and feminist and gay, but I'm gonna buy it even though I already downloaded it. Like, just say that you want to play the game, right? And I wouldn't judge you as hard.
This game is 100% without a doubt political. And not even political, it's just shit. Who wants to play as Jean Grey?
You, apparently, since you're so dead set on buying this game.
There's tons of different characters you could have played as. Maybe Kitty Pryde. Like, you know, the classic Chris Claremont run, Kitty Pryde and Wolverine. No, instead you have to play as Jean Grey.
Bro, this guy's whole thing is that he whines when things aren't perfectly, down to the last minute detail, accurate to the comics. Don't get me wrong, the comics are good source material, and there's things from the comics that I would like to see in game, like a Hulk versus Wolverine section, but I also want an original story from this game.
As I said, all that stuff aside, it is a game where you're going to be able to wear the patch outfit, the classic brown and tan. You're going to be able to ride a motorbike through Tokyo like Wolverine would.
So why are you complaining? You said that you're getting a Wolverine game in it with everything that you want, so what's with all this bitching and moaning that you're doing?
So I would take this game as a win, but there is going to be some insufferable feminism. And that's just my last point. We can't get a proper Wolverine game where he looks and acts badass and masculine like the character. Instead, there has to be a tacked on chunk of wokeness and feminism. And no real fan of the comics and the character of Wolverine actually wants this.
Okay, fans of the Wolverine comic and Wolverine character, let me know in the comment section if you're excited for the Wolverine game. Actually, you don't even have to be a fan. Just let me know in the comments if you're excited for the Wolverine game, because I know I am, right? I don't have a PlayStation, but I'm kind of praying that this comes to Steam.
So the people who made this decision to inject feminism, screw you. So that was just a quick video. It's kind of annoying that we have to put up with feminism and wokeness. You can't just get a normal game. That sounds like I'm saying the same thing over and over, but it really is the truth.
No, you are just saying the same thing over and over again. You've said that you're going to buy the game even though it's woke, and you've already downloaded it from the dark web about 3 times.
Screw these miserable people.
Just by chance, have you happened to look in the mirror lately?
Who can't give the fans what they want. So if you want to see more videos like this or videos about classic comics, then do let me know and maybe consider subscribing. And if you're one of the retards out there who advocates for this feminist trash, then go complain to your boyfriend.
That's a cute insult. Did your husband write it for you? Anyways, I think that's going to be the end of this week's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Be sure to join my Discord server and become a channel member. Comment of the week status goes to Phantom Knight Encounterist, who says, "Hoopify be out here speaking a whole new language." If you want comment of the week, you just have to be the first person to comment on the video. And I'll see you guys all next week. I'm out. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, alright, it's no secret that Ranting for Vengeance is a moron. He constantly spews garbage from his mouth, but today, I found the pinnacle of his idiocy, his idiocracy, his buffoonery, his shaboingery. I'm talking worse than this James Gunn video, worse than this Superman video, worse than anything and everything he's ever uploaded, because RFV, he looked through time, he saw the Batman Part 2, and it was woke!
So the spasticated Matt Reeves Batman crime saga, the Penguin TV show, has won multiple Emmys. And on top of that, people are hyped for the gay Batman Part 2 starring Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, guys, remember how gay Batman was when he kissed Catwoman? Couldn't believe it, man.
And I can safely say that not only is this whole retarded saga woke, but it's also massively overrated. But before we get into it, if you like these type of videos and you want to help out the channel, maybe consider subscribing or supporting me over on Patreon. So as you can see, the Penguin has already won 8 Emmys, mainly for the score and the prosthetics and makeup. Now I haven't watched the Penguin.
Oh my god, alright, so you admit that you don't watch it, and then he's probably gonna turn around and say, "It's woke, guys, it's woke and it's terrible," even though I didn't watch watch it and he's gonna throw a temper tantrum about it like a fucking child.
Now, I haven't watched The Penguin. I've already seen all the seasons of The Sopranos, and I didn't really need to see another one.
Ranting for Vengeance is trying to insinuate that The Penguin is a ripoff of The Sopranos, but how would he know if he didn't watch The Penguin? Suspicious.
Colin Farrell, I don't really care if the guy's Irish, I think he sucks as an actor. People bitch and whine about Nolan taking away the comic book elements of Batman, but in this overrated portrayal of the Penguin, Matt Reeves changed the character's name from a real name that people actually have just because he thought it sounded too comic booky.
The shortening of the name from Oswald Cobblepot to Oz Cobbs, because some fans have noticed.
I can't 100% answer that, but because I don't know everything in Matt Reeves' mind.
Gay? What do you mean by gay, bro? Can you just, smell gay people? Can you just, that's a gay? I mean, I guess he was a little flamboyant in his speakings, but he hasn't done anything for me personally, and most normal people to think that he's gay. I know this is a really weird tangent that I'm going on. This just really caught me off guard, the whole gay thing.
But, I would say that, largely we all kind of felt like Cobblepot wasn't a real person's name. It's kind of felt like Cobblepot wasn't a real person's name.
Oh my god, guys, can you believe it? They changed the Penguin's name from Oswald Cobblepot to Oswald Cobb! DC went woke! Seriously though, this is the hill Ranting for Vengeance is willing to die on. They changed the Penguin's name, and the entirety of Matt Reeves' Batman is woke garbage. Also, how does this relate to the Batman Part 2 being confirmed woke slop or whatever?
It's kind of a silly name back in the day when that was okay, because it was comic books for kids.
Fuck you!
If you're retarded and you can't see that Matt Reeves is going against the comics and all of the characters...
Dog, it's a singular name change. Why are we, actually no, not we, why are you acting like the Batman is some sort of giant middle finger to Bob Kane and Bill Finger? Why are you throwing a temper tantrum over this, bro? Why is this the hill that you are willing to die on?
Then you might not really be a Batman, DC, or comic book fan. If you're not willing to stand up for these comic book characters who are being changed by shitty filmmakers who have not read the comics.
Yeah, guys, if you're not willing to burn down DC headquarters and publicly decapitate Matt Reeves like he's a French monarch over them changing the Penguin's name, you just can't call yourself a real comic fan, bro.
Now, big anti-woke YouTubers are...
Me personally, I'm excited to see where this goes.
Now, big anti-woke YouTubers are saying that the Penguin was one of the best things that DC has put out in the last 10 years. I don't really care for that whole anti-woke crowd. I think that they do a lot of grifting, and this is an example.
You serious?
Does he know? Genuinely, does he know? Brother, you are part of the anti-woke crowd. You're the grifter. You're the liar. You're the problem. God, he's so far deep in the anti-woke agenda that he doesn't even identify with the other anti-woke grifters.
The Batman and the Penguin were shit. They race-swapped characters, they made Batman some gay weak Nirvana listener.
Once again, remember how gay Batman was when he kissed Catwoman? Couldn't believe it, bro. Almost walked out of the theater because of how gay it was.
Filled with feminism and handicapped political inserts. Once again, if you can't see any of that, go screw yourself. Case in point, this professional retard, Jeffrey Wright, who already played a race-swap character in the Bond franchise, played Commissioner Jim Gordon, a character that he knows nothing about. A character that Frank Miller really defined in Batman Year 1, making him a hard-boiled detective. And Jeffrey Wright did not play a hard-boiled detective in The Batman by Matt Reeves. Jim Gordon is canonically a redhead, so this is a stupid race swap. Stop whining about racism and go back to the hood.
That's an interesting way of saying that you're not a racist. Telling a black man to go back to the hood? Definitely not something a racist would say. Who am I kidding? I'm fully convinced that Ranting for Vengeance would say the Hargar if he could get away with it. I mean, hell, he probably already has behind closed doors.
Next up on the chopping block of spastication.
Okay, alright, side conversation. Can someone please tell me what spasticated means? I've never heard anyone other than Ranting for Vengeance say. Is it an Irish thing? Let me know in the comments because I'm genuinely lost here.
Next up on the chopping block of spastication, we have this Matt Reeves Batman fan account here. And just a little side note, all of these fan accounts for Superman, Batman, Fantastic Four are the absolute cesspools of cringe on Twitter. It's why I barely use it, because every time I open up the app, I see some paid retard who has never read a a comic book in their life. But anyway, this moron says, imagine trying to put white eyes on this. Yeah, I don't know what your point is. I can imagine it pretty well, because Batman has always had white eyes.
Okay, alright, giving my 2 cents on the whole Batman white eyes debate, I would want to see Batman with the classic white eyes, but at the same time, I also think that the current live action suits without the white eyes look good, right? Is it weird that I like them both? Because, you know, both are good, in my opinion.
Because Batman has always had white eyes. It's not some circumstantial thing where sometimes he has them and sometimes he doesn't. Every single episode of Batman the Animated Series, every single comic. So just because you like some retarded Twilight gay emo eyes crying every 3 seconds in the movie doesn't make it objectively good.
Once again, bro, we're just straight up lying, right? Because Batman barely cries at all during the movie. The only time he cries is during the hospital scene, bro. It is one time, bro. Man can't even show emotion, and you're like, oh, he's gay. That's gay. Any emotion is gay. There's no emotion in my household. Oh my god, Ranting for Vengeance would be a terrible parent. Daddy, when I grow up, I want... Did I just catch you showing emotion in me house?
More accurate to the character of Batman, I should never see Batman's eyes or what emotions he's feeling. And that's the argument you'll hear. Look how good the emotion is and how good the acting is out of Robert Pattinson.
But the acting is genuinely good, alright? Why is he dismissing genuinely good acting in favor of minute details like Batman not having white eyes or Penguin's last name being changed?
Stop coping. This isn't an upgrade or comic accurate. I don't want to see some gay guy crying throughout the entire movie.
Man, I'm getting tired of the homosexual accusations, bro. Like, he kissed a woman. Batman kissed Catwoman. How much more straight can you get? That's like top 10 straight activities, is kissing women.
And before I continue, I have to make it clear that I was a massive fan of The Batman by Matt Reeves. When it came out, I saw it in theaters like 3 times. And the reason was because I'm a massive fan of film noir and hard-boiled detective noir fiction. And at the time, The Batman was the closest we've gotten to that in recent years. And there's still stuff in that movie that I really like. Now, all my criticisms still stand. It's not comic accurate. Batman is some gay dude who cries and listens to Nirvana.
Hey bro, why Nirvana catching strays, bro? What did Kurt Cobain do to you? He's been dead for like 30 years. Why is he catching strays, bro?
The race swaps and all that stuff is still trash.
Are these white privileged assholes?
Okay, so y'all gotta stay with me here. The reason Catwoman is saying this isn't because Matt Reeves is a liberal soy boy. It's because Catwoman, within the Batman, is a victim of abuse and a racial minority in an extremely corrupt city. And I just know Ranting for Vengeance is gonna go on about some crazy rants about how Matt Reeves is probably like, hey, mafia, or something.
Hidden behind all that, there is a good movie in there somewhere in the rain-soaked Gotham where Batman is actually a detective. And that takes us to this tweet, which was the subject of some controversy because a lot of people are fake fans who do not understand noir or hard-boiled fiction because these people don't really read books or watch old movies. Which, side note, that isn't really a hard thing to do. All you have to do is kind of use your brain. But some guy posted up some shots from the Batman saying the world's greatest detective. And yeah, I think this looks good and maybe even better than the original because it fits the tone of the noir kind of tone that the film was trying to go for. With the voiceover and the rain and the investigation and the femme fatale, even though she was race swapped.
Hey bro, correct me if I'm wrong, alright? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the universal law was that so long as Catwoman's a baddie, no one really cares if Catwoman got race swapped.
This person here, who I've seen before having some really woke and special needs takes all across Twitter, actually says something good for once. Genuinely surprised that there's not a black and white version of this movie. It literally seems like a no-brainer. And I'm not even able to read all of them out because there's just so many retards who took offense to this, saying that why would you ever drain the color out of this masterpiece? Why would you ever put it in black and white? And the original poster had to actually say it that, yeah, the movie was kind of a detective movie. That's why I said it should be in black and white.
That's great and all, bro, but how does this prove that the Batman Part 2 will be a woke disaster, right? It's in the title and the thumbnail, and all you've done is just read Twitter and whine about how, down to the last minute detail, to the last subatomic particle, it's not comic accurate, alright, bro? You're not delivering on what I was promised.
You know, like the way a detective movie would be. And of course, these people don't know what any of that means. All of these bots are incapable of watching watching something that came out before the year 1990. They have no recollection of Humphrey Bogart, Robert Mitchum, Raymond Chandler, or Mickey Spillane, Dashiell Hammett novels with Sam Spade.
We get it, bro. You have a hard-on for noir detective films and hard-boiled fiction. Now, can we please talk about the Batman Part 2 being a woke disaster? Alright, that's what I came here for, and you're not delivering.
People in this generation literally don't know anything about that. It's why they're incapable of liking movies like Dirty Harry, Cobra, Sin City. Because a lot of movies and works that came out in the 70s, 80s, and even now today, like The Batman, are tributing classic noir fiction and movies. And to be honest, I'm kinda sick of trying to explain all this shit. You either know about it, or you're retarded. And also, since the very beginning to the Frank Miller, Denny O'Neil comics, to the entirety of Batman the Animated Series and Mask of the Phantasm, Batman has always been a noir character and world. And some fake fans just can't understand that. Moving on, once again, somebody tries to say something that is actually comic accurate and gets attacked for it. This guy edited the Batman suit to make it the actual colors of Batman's costume, which in my opinion looks way better in the actual suit that they used in the movie.
Okay, I see what Ranting for Vengeance is saying here. I don't really like the way he said it, but to play devil's advocate here, this batsuit does look really good, alright? I can't lie, it looks really good.
Once again, you have armies of people attacking people who actually want Batman to look and be in a world like Batman. Everything woke, race swapped, and gay is peak and fire, and everything like this, or the last post that wanted Batman to be in black and white like a new war, is mid and corny and goofy because these people do not understand the character. And I'm gonna end this off with some majorly handicapped cringe. Greatest show don't tell moment in all of comic book cinema. Now, I'm sure other movies had great show don't tell moments, but apparently this is the best one of all time.
Muted cause it's gay. Bro, what is your obsession with homosexuality, bro? Like, why are you like, oh, this is gay, that's gay, everything's gay? Like, what's your obsession with gay people, bro? Are you one of them? Are you one of the closeted gays? Are you part of the gay police, the gay Stapo? What's your deal, bro?
Yeah, so instead of giving Batman an actual backstory or revealing it over time, we just destroy the legacy of Batman's parents and include a scene like this, where he stares like an autistic gay.
What level of mental illness is this? The legacy of Batman's parents weren't ruined, and here we have Batman relating to this child through his own experience of losing his parents. He doesn't stare like an autistic gay, you absolutely media illiterate troglodyte.
That's the end of the line for the entire argument. These movies and TV shows, no matter how many awards they win, are not comic accurate. People like this who don't like the black and white noir look, or the wide eyes, or the blue suit, are not real comic book Batman or DC fans. Oh yeah, and finally, Batman is Bruce Wayne. He's not some weak homo who cries his eyes out at every single thing he sees. The Robert Pattinson, Matt Reeves Batman crime saga is entirely and absolutely retarded.
Bro, I don't know why this guy keeps throwing shade at Robert Pattinson when Robert Pattinson mogs him in pretty much every conceivable way. Like, genuinely, bro, who does this kid think he is, bro? Like, you know who he reminds me of? Actually, no, not who, what. He reminds me of, like, that Rick and Morty copy pasta where it's like, to be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand Rick and Morty. Like, he's the type of person that would watch Rick and Morty and unironically say that. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to be the end of this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Be sure to become a channel member and join my Discord server, link in the description below. I'm trying to boost that shit so that we can have our own server tag. Comment of the week status goes to my goat, Max Poker Bruh 2794, who says, yeah, the Has-Been Hotel fanbase has a crazy weird side, like every other fanbase, right? The reason he's saying that is because I made a video on the Has-Been Hotel fanbase last week. You should go watch it. It's pretty fire, in my opinion, but what do I know? I'm the guy who made the video, so, you know, I'm a little biased. My ears hurt from the amount of whiny bitch baby I've had to hear while making this video. I know you guys are probably sick and tired of the Ranting for Vengeance videos, but there's one reason I keep doing them. the views. Anyways, that's it for today. I'll see you guys all next week, and I'm out. Peace. Pop out 1 in the morning, I got gooning on my mind. TS is so cabbage, are calling all the time, and all these goofy sigmas glazing when LeBron is shooting fives. But I can't get to mewing, I got gooning on my mind. You know, I was out of ideas for videos. I didn't have any ideas. Everything was dry. Alright, everything was drier than the Sahara Desert. But then, last night it came to me. It came to me in a dream. And so, we're bringing it back. Everyone, you know him, you love to hate him. Please give it up for fan favorite, Ranting for Vengeance. Now, chances are, you're probably wondering what Ranting for Vengeance has done this time, right? What has he done that deserves the wrath of the people? And I'll tell you what. So a while ago, there was the Absolute Batman Annual, which marked about 1 year since its release. And in the annual, Batman is taking on a group of white supremacists. And I think that tells you all you need to know about why Ranting for Vengeance didn't like it. But without further ado, let's get into the video.
So I'm a little late to this story, but who cares? Absolute Batman has apparently broken the no-kill rule. And you'll be asking yourself, why would the writers make such a big decision? Well, the answer is because they wanted to crack down on people who have a certain political opinion.
You know what, Ranting for Vengeance? I agree with you. I think this is right. Alright, I think this was made to push away people of a certain political opinion. And you want to know what that political opinion is? Nazis. This was made to push away Nazis, because I feel like Nazis are really the only ones who are getting mad at this. Like, genuinely, how do you come to such a conclusion, right? Like, how does one get here, right? Like, you see a Nazi getting beat up, you're like, they're fucking talking about me! This is woke! It's all woke garbage! Like, I find it ironic that, like, the people, especially, you know, people like Ranting for Vengeance, who build their entire careers off of, you know, like, oh, fuck the woke mob and the liberals, you know, canceling everything. I hate those guys. But also, I get very, 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 very offended. My feelings get very hurt when there's a black person, or a gay person, or a Jewish person, or a Mexican person, or a woman person in front of me. You know, just someone who's not a straight white man. I just get very, very, very offended when someone who's not one of those things is in front of me. I just find it really ironic how people like Ranting for Vengeance, who make a living off of calling everyone else snowflakes, will turn into a fucking whiny little bitch goo-goo wah-wah baby when they see a Nazi getting beat up.
Yeah, this comic continues to be absolute retardation that nobody knows about or cares about.
Wrong. False. Come here, let me tell you something, alright? Ranting for Vengeance, our friend Ranting for Vengeance, he's lying to you, alright? Not only was Absolute Batman the best-selling issue of 2024 with 400,000 copies sold, but some of the other issues of Absolute Batman have managed to hit #1 in the charts. For example, Absolute Batman #4 was #1 in January, Absolute Batman #10 was #1 in July, Absolute Batman 11 was #1 in August, Absolute Batman 15 is #1 in December, and the annual, the very issue that Ranting for Vengeance is complaining about is #1, well, not #1, but was a top seller in 2025, so saying that no one cared about this, or no one watches this, isn't just bad faith, it's a straight up lie, and that's the only thing Ranting for Vengeance really can do here, lie, alright? What's he gonna do, say you should sympathize with the Nazis getting their faces pummeled in?
So I don't really like doing 50 videos on one subject like I've done in the past, because I feel that after a certain point it'll get exhausting just listening to woke slop. So that is my mindset, but this Absolute Batman story is too big and retarded to ignore.
Oh, I get it. So at first, you know, no one knows about this. No one gives a fuck about this, right? No one cares about Absolute Batman, right? Nobody watches it or reads it. No one cares about it. But this story's too big for me to ignore, guys. I just have to talk about this because this story is so big. It's just so huge. It's ginormous. I have to talk about this story, guys. Like, dude, you can't even get your story straight, right? Like, at least come up with a solid narrative before making a stupid video like this.
And because of that, I'm gonna stay true to what I believe. I'm not gonna go through this comic page by page, tearing it apart, because any person with common sense already knows that DC as a company is dead.
Okay, now before you say anything, this was before Warner Bros. Was bought by Netflix, and even then, Netflix themselves confirmed that James Gunn would remain head of DC Studios, so even if DC were to die, which I don't think it will for a while, I think DC would be a lot more likely to die from Netflix Netflix, making everything go to Netflix instead of theaters, instead of from quote-unquote wokeness.
The normal Batman comics are gay and handicapped, which we'll get to in a second, and Absolute Batman is just that times 10. So I'm not going to do something where I break every single thing down as if it's some story that's worth reading. But I do just want to touch on the people who are loving this garbage. They're celebrating this as if it's like Watchmen or The Dark Knight Returns.
This is unrelated to Ranting for Vengeance's talking points, but I genuinely can't tell. Is it just like the lighting casting shadows on his face, or does he have a black eye right here? Given that Ranting for Vengeance's father makes basically the same type of content as his son, I wouldn't put him above him, that he's essentially groomed his child into being a sort of mini-me, and he beats him when he steps out of line. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory.
This is probably all I'll show because the cringe just gets out of hand. So this guy here gets 6 million views and 200k likes. That's one of the most retarded pictures of all time from the brand new Absolute Batman annual, which nobody read, by the way. Like, nobody gives a fuck about that.
Yeah, guys, no one read the Absolute Batman annual. No one read it at all, right? In fact, so many people did not read it that it just doesn't exist. It was erased from existence by DC. They just erased it because they were just so embarrassed by it not existing, right? They were just so embarrassed by its by its poor sales performance that they just took it off the shelves and pretend like it don't exist. This kid's points are so trash, right? Like they can literally just be debunked with a single Google search, right?
And the same goes for these pages that you're posting up, as if they mean something. It all comes back to the classic Reddit mentality of, hey, my favorite woke character agrees with me, so yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I'm not really sure what you're talking about here because number one, this is official DC art. This is official. This was published by DC. This was published under the DC name. This isn't a fan comic. Right? This is official DC comic book material. And number two, alright? Number two, what does the whole my favorite character would agree with anything mentality have to do with any of this whatsoever? Right? Like, it feels like you're just making shit up because you know your points are intrinsically weak. Like, there's only so many times you can pretend to be mad about something in this comic that's not the Nazis getting beat up before it gets corny.
So yeah, and they think that it gives them a leg to stand on. Who gives a shit if Absolute Batman would agree with you? And this doesn't just go out to the fake fans who are just gay retards like this guy.
Bro, what the fuck did the Twitter poster do, bro? Oh yeah, fucking morons. Fucking slop consumers like this guy. Oh, can you believe him? He likes Absolute Batman. Oh, what a loser. What a moron. Listen, bro, I don't know about you, but I hate it when I'm reading an Absolute Batman comic, alright? And you know what I get jump scared by? Fucking pronouns! Fucking gender ambiguity! Fucking current day Californian shit! Hey, Editor Bricks 96 here, right? So I was trying to find like a good clip of the pronouns rant, and I found this. Oh my fucking god, this is so cringe, bro. Holy fuck. I just had to share this with you guys. I feel like it wouldn't really fit in the video, but I just had to share it. All right, this is post Editor Bricks 96 signing off.
This doesn't just go out to the fake fans who are just gay retards like this guy, but it also goes out to the spastics at DC making this shit.
You know, I've always hated the, well, if you're so smart, why don't you do insert thing here criticism, because I feel like that's kind of stupid. Like, if there's a bad video game, I don't need to have like a fucking bachelor's degree in computerology to realize that it's a bad video game. But here, I feel like that would genuinely apply, alright? Ranting for Vengeance, if you're so smart, right? If you're so based and red-pilled and Sigma, why don't you make your own comic book series? Like, genuinely, I want to know, what would a Ranting for Vengeance comic book series look like, right? Like, I'm actually, this is beyond joke territory. I'm actually kind of interested now. Right? Like, genuinely, what would that look like, right? Let me know down in the comments, what do you think a Ranting for Vengeance comic book series would look like?
You think you're making a difference, and you think that anybody finds this cool. As I said earlier, people are talking about this.
God, bro. So at first it's like, oh, no one bought this. No one's talking about this. No one likes it. No one likes Absolute Batman. No one bought it. No one's talking about it. But also, guys, this is so huge. This is such a huge topic I have to talk about. Guys, everyone's talking about this. This is the most insane drama of all time. Like, dude, you can't even get the fucking story straight. oh my fucking god, this is so stupid, bro. Like, listen, I know you probably don't have the most developed frontal lobe of all time, right? Like, I know you're probably definitely a little bit stupid. You probably take the class with the kid with the helmet on his head. But Jesus Christ, right? Either, right? This is very simple, right? The narrative of this video should be either this is popular and people are talking about this and I don't like it, or this isn't popular, people are not talking about this and I still don't like it. Like, the narrative of this video is so stupidly inconsistent that it pisses me off to no end.
I said earlier, people are talking about this, and the writers and artists making this slop think that it's The Dark Knight Returns or Frank Miller's Daredevil or Watchmen. And here's the thing, I don't even like Watchmen, but I can't sit here and say that it isn't a famous piece of work that changed comics. And the same goes for Daredevil Born Again and The Dark Knight Returns. You know, all these comics that none of you have read. And no, I'm not talking to the people with brains out there who can actually think for themselves. I'm talking to the people like this guy who are posting about how they love Absolute Batman breaking up neo-Nazis. Have you read Frank Miller's Daredevil? Have you read Denny O'Neil Batman? I don't think so.
Oh, you like comic books? You like Batman comic books, huh? You like Absolute Batman? Well, have you read the 1991 one-off, Batman Holy Terror? No? Didn't think so. Guess you can't call yourself a real Batman fan, huh?
All that stuff aside, I just think that it's absolutely hilarious that you think you're making a difference. You think by drawing some spasticated comic where fake Batman goes around crushing people, you're changing the political landscape of the world.
Bro, where did they say this? Like, where did anyone say this? When has one DC artist been like, oh yeah, I really think we're changing hearts and minds with this one, guys. I really think I'm making a difference here. No one said this, bro. You're making stuff up. You are making shit up to get mad about, bro. You are literally doing the man invents fictional scenario and gets angry about it.
Nobody read this shit. End of story. Moving on. At this point, I can't even get angry at this because this is just laughable. Who thinks that this is even Batman? So this artist, Dan Mora, who draws Batman and all these great DC comics and is beloved and he's so awesome, is just drawing Batman and Superman being gay. And I'm pretty sure it's like a fan commission. So you walk up to your favorite artist and say, hey, can you draw Batman and Superman being gay for some reason?
Now, any artist in the comments, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but usually, alright, and this is how I'm pretty sure it goes with artists, right? Usually what you do, unless this was like done at a convention, usually what happens is like, go on the internet, find them like on their Twitter or their Instagram or their TikTok or something, you pay them money, and then they draw the thing, right? You pay them money and they draw a thing, right? Once again, artists, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but usually, alright, usually you just don't walk up to them and be like, hey man, can you draw this for me?
Imagine trying this on an actual good artist, like walking up to Neil Adams or John Byrne and being like, hey, can you draw Wolverine, but instead of smoking a cigar, he's just gay and retarded. But for some reason, this guy, Dan Mora, is just drawing them happily and he's done it multiple times.
Oh my god, bro, this guy's such a fucking pussy. Like, who cares? Like, genuinely, bro, who cares at all? Who cares in the slightest, alright? Because this guy, alright, fucking ranting for vengeance, you know, he's based his entire career off of, you know, not giving a fuck what people think. And, you know, he's not offended. He's not offended by anything, alright? Like you pussies are. He calls everyone else snowflakes. But then... he fucking has a temper tantrum when an artist draws two men kissing.
As I said, you can't really get mad and lose your crap over this.
Then why are you making this video?
It's because this isn't really Batman. Dan Mora is not a good artist. Nobody knows who the hell he is. Nobody knows what his comics are. Nobody knows what Absolute Batman or its shitty annual is. That's the whole point I'm trying to make with this video. It's kind of hilarious that people think that Dan Mora, the mainline Batman runs, the Bat Family, Absolute Batman, it's the top of the comics world and everybody's reading it. It's becoming mainstream now.
Bitch, this is literally happening. Absolute Batman issue 1 was the best-selling comic book of 2024.
The truth is, any real fan of DC, comics, or Batman saw Absolute Batman and went, what is this retarded shit? And then
oh, thank God it's finally over, right? I don't really have anything funny to say right here. I'm just glad it's over. It's been a long day, right? It's been a long day for me, but I still got up, I still made this video even when I didn't want to, and that's some dedication right there, dedication to you guys, my fans, which is why you should subscribe. Anyways guys, I think that's going to be the end of today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Be sure to become a channel member, and be sure to join my Discord server, link in the description below. Comment of the week status goes to Phantom Knight Encounterist. If you want comment of the week status, all you have to do is be the first person to comment on the video, and I'll give you a shout out in the next one next week. And with that all said, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, you're probably going to want to sit down for this one, because I'm about to give you some shocking news, something that'll flabbergast you, that'll surprise you, that'll make you jump out of your seat. Ranting for Vengeance has a father figure, or just a father. He has a father, right? He has a biological dad that I'm assuming is in his life to some extent. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, Snowbricks, how did you arrive to the realization that Ranting for Vengeance has a father figure in his life? And I'll tell you how. So, I stumbled across a channel called RPMMA, aka Red Pill MMA, and he talks like he talks exactly like Ranting for Vengeance. He acts exactly like Ranting for Vengeance. He basically makes like a grown-up version of Ranting for Vengeance's videos, and he has the exact same like room setup as Ranting for Vengeance. So if they're not family, if they're not related in any way, then I don't know, man. It's either a wild coincidence or they're related. It's one or the other. But I'm not going to waste you guys' time. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
So we've all seen a massive drop-off over at the UFC. Crazy decisions all around. Dana White being petulant, forcing people to choose their favorite Muslim fighters and all that. But trust Sean Strickland to keep things interesting.
You know, I don't really follow MMA drama, so I don't really know who Sean Strickland is. But if this picture is anything to go off, then he seems like a pretty big cornball. Like, bro, the cancel me t-shirt, yeah, this shit not tough, bro. This is not tough. I'm sorry if you think this is tough. Sorry you're not a Sigma, but this is not tough, bro. This is not cool like that.
Trust him to ask the important questions, and of course to call out someone like Netflix for being gay and retarded.
Okay, so right off the bat, RPMMA talks exactly like how Ranting for Vengeance talks, except he's a lot calmer, right? Like, his voice is more soothing than Ranting for Vengeance. You know, Ranting for Vengeance, he just hops out the gate, he's like, "This is fucking gay and retarded, and I think everyone who worked on this should die!" And RPMMA, he's like, "This is gay and retarded. I think..." I can't do a fucking Irish accent. You get what I'm fucking what's his name? Ranting for Vengeance. He's a lot more angrier when he's making these videos versus RPMMA. His voice is kind of soothing. If he wasn't like a what is his job? What does he do? What does he even do? So I figured this would be the perfect segue to take a look at what type of content RPMMA is making. So, alright, from a quick glance at his videos, you can gather two things. Number one, he really likes Trump. And number two, he really does not like Muslims. He hates Muslim people. Like, bro, this one right here, The Great Replacement, in the Grand 25, damn near the Grand 26, bro. Are we serious? Listen, man, I'm not sure how big of a presence the Snowbricks 96 channel has in Ireland, but y'all gotta let me know. Is this real? Is Ranting for Vengeance's dad just tweaking, or is this real, bro? Like, are Muslims actually taking over? Are they infiltrating? Are they wearing white people's skin and slowly becoming white people? Are they assimilating into the species? Like, what is going on in Ireland, bro? Like, please tell me. I want to know.
You gotta wonder who's making modern TV. Halo, The Witcher are all just sitting around a table asking yourselves, how do we burn money? Not a Star Trek fan, but the opening trailer is two fat dykes. How did this become America?
Am I tweaking? Because I thought... Oh god, bro. I thought fucking Star Trek was British. I thought that shit was British. So I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. I'm going crazy. I'm the Joker now. You wanna know how I got cancer? But on a serious note, alright? As a representative of the American people, I can safely say that Halo, The Witcher, and Star Trek, they do not represent the American people. They do not represent the Americans, right? I'm not sure about The Witcher and Star Trek, but I do know that nobody liked Halo, right? No one liked the Halo TV show. It was trash. It was the worst TV show ever made. Anyone who worked on it deserves to be killed.
At this stage, we all know that the UFC is literally just staying afloat now because of these type of outside the octagon statements from people like Sean Strickland, Conor McGregor, Jorge Masvidal. Controversy on the outside of the octagon is the only thing that has any bit of interest within the UFC now. In fairness, like, who wants to actually spend their hard-earned money paying the UFC to watch some Muslim lad from the mountains lie down on top of someone?
I'll tell you who's still watching the UFC real masculine men, because real masculine men watch MMA, because we all know that there's no more masculine hobby than watching two sweaty men roll around on the floor trying to make each other submit. The most masculine pastime, the most masculine show in the history of masculinity.
So I'm more than happy to have a little conversation in line with Sean Strickland and answer who exactly is behind the indoctrination of our youth through the means of Netflix or just mainstream media.
Oh my god, bro, it's always these types of people where instead of talking about like actual issues with society, you know, like hyperinflation and stuff like that, they're always just like, the gays, they want your children, they want they want to have sex with your
Jiggle fuck with you again, suck will jiggle bang.
Another thing these guys will do that just really weirds me out is that they'll get mad at quote-unquote woke indoctrination or gay indoctrination, and then they'll like and retweet one of those compilations of hot Pixar moms with the caption saying something like, "Thank God Disney made an entire generation of kids grow up straight."
We see this week that Netflix are trying to acquire Warner Brothers. $72 billion is on the line. If Netflix do actually acquire Warner Brothers, Trump even says that it would be a problem. I wonder what you would imagine that problem being.
I don't know, man. Maybe the fact that Netflix is slowly turning from a streaming service into a monopoly, or maybe the fact that some of the most beloved IPs in history are now under Netflix's belt, such as DC Comics, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Scooby-Doo, Flintstones, Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes, Mortal Kombat, the Lego games. I don't really want these under Netflix's belt, not because I think Netflix will, wokeify them or anything, but because I think Netflix would be wildly incompetent with them and wouldn't know how to use them.
Do I need to say it?
No, because I just did.
Absolutely not. Old Wolf says it over here on Twitter. Every recent movie on Netflix is like, gay guy is the voice of reason. Yes, correct. White man is the bad guy. Of course. Mom is the breadwinner. Children are sexualized. Black man is the hero. Woman has the balls. Dad is an idiot. Netflix is social engineering, not entertainment.
What the fuck kind of movies are you guys watching on Netflix, bro? Like, what kind of movies are you guys seeing on Netflix that made you come to this conclusion? Like, are you sure that you're not watching, like, some weird, like, Eastern European version of Netflix run by, like, 3 guys in Bosnia or something like that?
100% agreed. And do you actually think that this social engineering is an accident? Absolutely not. Netflix have had a bunch of controversies over the year. Some are prominent, some you have to go looking for. Is Netflix teen prostitution drama Baby obscene or just risque? Director Diego Kaplan defends Netflix Desire from accusations of child pornography. Cool. Netflix show prompts thousands to delete their account. Of course, they're talking about that movie there, which I'm pretty sure we're not even allowed to say on this platform, but everybody knows exactly what that is, and it's vile.
Okay, man, you kind of got me on this one. I'm not going to defend Netflix on that. I think those movies are pretty bad, or I don't think I can say them. Like, as much as I don't like RPMMA, I also don't like those movies. In fact, I don't like those movies even more than I don't like RPMMA. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, actually, I think Desire was amazing and secretly a hidden gem. No, I don't think that. That would be stupid, and it would be even more stupid of me to say that just because I don't like Ranting for Vengeance's father. Now, RPMMA has an excellent hook here, right? Those Netflix movies are bad. I sure hope this hook is well executed.
Seen huge analysis and studies done across the board on Netflix kids shows showing that they are flooded with LGBTQ themes. Now everybody who has a social media account has seen the videos of a very, very high proportion of children's TV shows produced and put out by Netflix that are just filled with depravity, filled with LGBTQ.ie propaganda.
And you've lost me. You just lost me.
Indoctrinating young malleable minds and coercing the young people into that LGBTQ mafia.
Gay mafia! Gay mafia reference! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god, this is something that only the OG Snowbricks viewers will realize. This is something that only the OGs will realize, right? If you're an OG Snowbricks fan, you know the gay mafia lore.
It's absolutely vile and disgusting. But in fairness, when they do a true life story like the teenager jailed for life for Elaine Adams' murder, they do it with style because we get the race swap, the obligatory race swap, the TV show Adolescence, pictured here, young white kid with the evil eye and Pictured here was the actual perpetrator of the crime.
Now, you would have some ground if Adolescence was based solely on this one particular murder, but it's not. Adolescence was not based on one particular story, but was instead based on the rise in knife crime amongst young men in the UK, with online radicalization being a major factor.
The time a race swap will go in that direction is when they're trying to protect the black community. They're vile scumbags and they need to be called out. Let me take you on a little journey into the past here to find the root of why Netflix is a propaganda machine and where exactly it stems from. Sigmund Freud.
What? Sigmund Freud? We're talking about Netflix. What does Sigmund Freud have to do with this?
Sigmund Freud, as many might know, is the father of psychoanalysis. He claimed that he was molested by his siblings. Freud was a cocaine addict and a pedophile advocate who taught that children sexually lusted after their parents.
Uh-huh. And what does this have to do with Netflix? Even better question, what does this have to do with gay people?
Of course he did. A lot of people buy into that freakazoid, and when you do the research, it's pretty horrific.
Who is buying into this? Alright, no, not once have I ever talked to one of my friends and be like, yo, that paper that Sigmund Freud did where he thinks that children are sexually attracted to their parents is a stroke of genius. Like, bro, if you buy into this, if you think that Sigmund Freud is a genius because of this, I think that you deserve to be
jiggle fuckle chicken, supple jiggle bang.
Freud's grandson, Sir Clement Freud, had been accused of molesting multiple young girls and was suspected in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. Freud's sister claimed that she was regularly abused by her perverted father, and she gave birth to Freud's nephew, Edward Bernays. He took the family's work in psychology and used it to help the governments and corporations manipulate the minds of the public. Hired by an American tobacco company, Bernays manipulated women into buying more cigarettes by convincing them smoking was a feminist liberation. Thanks to Bernays and his twisted family legacy, social engineering became big business. Modern psychology was used to exploit mankind's mental weakness, nurture the public's lower desires, and turn people into mindless consumers. And here's where the rubber meets the road in terms of this little backstory. Edward Bernays' great nephew is a lad called Mark Bernays Randolph, and he is the co-founder and original CEO of Netflix.
Well, that was an interesting trip down the Freud family tree, but here's the problem. While Mark Randolph was the co-founder of Netflix, he left Netflix in 2002. All the shows that you are complaining about are from the 2020s. I'm not sure what kind of drugs this guy is smoking, but I want me some of that, because genuinely, how does one come to the conclusion that Sigmund Freud mind control tactics are being used by Netflix in order to promote the gay agenda? Genuinely, how does one come to this conclusion?
Does anybody think that this is a coincidence? Netflix has not only replaced network television as the premier home of pop culture, it also is continuing to denigrate the depraved social engineering of Bernays and Freud's legacy. 13 Reasons Why. The Netflix show was accused of romanticizing suicide during a recent increase in teenage suicide. What about The First Temptation of Christ? Jesus Christ is depicted as a homosexual. A Texas grand jury indicted Netflix for depicting child sex in the movie.
Brother, you have the perfect thing to be mad at Netflix over. Get mad at 13 Reasons Why for glorifying suicide. Get mad at that Netflix movie for sexualizing children. If you got mad at Netflix for those reasons, I wouldn't fight you on that. I think that's valid. Instead, you're like, Netflix is perpetrating the gay agenda, and it's just, oh my fucking god, it's so stupid, right? Like, you have the perfect thing to be mad about and morally grandstand over Netflix, right? You have the perfect thing to do that, and yet you're actively choosing the stupidest things. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So when the former UFC champion of the world, Sean Strickland, says over any social media, do you ever wonder why our TV is so morally corrupt? Who is producing this? Who thinks that this makes money? Who thinks that it's a good idea? Well, we have a little backstory there to answer Sean Strickland's question, and it's very interesting.
That was the end of RPMMA's video. I don't really know how to feel about it, because at the same time, he's more and less extreme than Ranting for Vengeance. Like, I don't know how to describe it, because Ranting for Vengeance, he doesn't make videos on like super serious political topics. He's usually talking about like, I don't know, like video games, comic books, superhero movies, really like superhero movies and manga and comic books and stuff like that. But he's a lot angrier when talking about wokeness in this media. Like, he's a lot angrier, and he's like, "Oh, I hate woke. Anyone who likes woke should die." And you know, you have RPMMA, who's making videos on like serious things, on like serious political topics, and he's like a lot calmer about it. It's weird. Like, it's really weird. It unsettles me. Anyways, I think that's gonna be the end of today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Be sure to become a channel member, and be sure to join my Discord server, link in the description. Comment of the week status goes to the wonderful, the lovely Tremagit. If you want comment of the week status, all you have to do is be the first person to comment on the next video, and I'll give you a shout out. I'm gonna keep talking for a little bit, just because I feel like I genuinely kind of entered the flow state with this gameplay right here. If you've made it this far in the video, then comment down below what you're getting for Christmas. Have you been a good person this year? Or are you getting coal in your stocking? If you're getting coal in your stocking, what did you do to deserve the coal in your stocking, alright? These are all questions that I want answers to. Maybe after this video you can go back and amend your original comment. Alright, that's it. I've run out of ideas for how to prolong this conversation. Anyways, if you like my videos, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, become a channel member, join my Discord, all that great stuff. Subscribe, and yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys all next week. I'm out. Peace. Oh my god, I don't know about you guys, but I'm so excited. You want to know why I'm excited? It's because my favorite YouTuber, Ranting for Vengeance, indirectly responded to me. But I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's get into the video. I am so excited.
Here we go. Here's what started it all. This guy posted up some clip of an old video of mine. Instead of taking from something new, they have to go back and search through endless hours of my content. And he got a good few people liking and seeing this tweet, saying something that just isn't true.
Now this is why I'm so excited, because that clip right there, this is a clip from my last Ranting for Vengeance video, and I cannot be happier, bro. Even if I didn't receive credit for it, alright? Even if I was never mentioned, I'm still taking credit for all of this. This whole thing. This is all because of me!
Calls himself Batman expert. So first of all, time out. We're gonna have to stop everything. When did I ever call myself a Batman expert? So I'm not even gonna bother playing your clip or reading on, because you're so fucking spasticated, thinking that I said something which I never said. Oh yeah, and just a quick tip, using Google AI search results as an argument against me does not work, you retard.
Okay, alright, that's valid. You could have worded it a little bit better, but saying that you don't trust Google AI is a valid complaint, alright? So, let's not use Google AI. Let's look at the facts, Ben Shapiro style. Watch me destroy this liberal with epic facts and logic. It's so hard that he shits himself. The article from The Publisher says that DC Comics sees an absolute success, wink wink nudge nudge, with the Absolute series. DC Comics themselves revealing that Absolute Batman is the best-selling comic of 2024. Wikipedia corroborates this, with Absolute Batman being the bestseller of 2024. And last year it reached number 5 on the New York Times bestseller list. And Comixology ranks Absolute Batman as one of the best of 2025, right alongside Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man. So I think it's safe to say that Absolute Batman has seen commercial and critical success, despite what Ranting for Vengeance keeps saying. I mean, this is Ranting for Vengeance's whole things. He doesn't go for facts and logics, he goes for feelings over facts, and that's not very like heckin' epic Ben Shapiro style, buddy. Like with Ranting for Vengeance's reviews of movies and comics, it's never based on plot, it's never based on character design, it's never based on anything like that. It's based on how many minorities appear. Spoiler alert, guess what, liberal? If it's more than one, then it's woke trash.
So speaking of mental retardation,
ever look in a mirror?
This guy just went on posting about me yesterday, saying that me thinking Devilman is not gay is stupid. Have you even read the manga? Yes, I have. Have you? Have you read Violence Jack? Do you know anything about Devilman, or are you just trying to make everything gay? Oh, wait a second, you are. I just clicked into your profile and you have your pronouns there.
Okay, man. Like, what? Am I supposed to, like, start foaming at the mouth about this person having their pronouns in their bio? Like, okay. Like, it's a choice. Like, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna like fucking kill them for that. Like, what did he expect to happen, right? Like, oh, you have pronouns in your bios. High five me, guys. Like, okay. He has pronouns in his bio. Good for you. You have observational skills.
Nobody wants to hear about your pronouns or your sexuality. Nobody gives a shit. And before we get to the legendary Scott Snyder, who burned Ranting for Vengeance and roasted him by replying and bickering in some gay comment section.
Now hold on. I want you to look at Scott Snyder's username here and Scott Snyder's username in the thumbnail, alright? It may not look all too different, but there's one thing that you're forgetting. The pride flag. Where's the pride flag? You know what this means? You know what this means, you guys? It means that Ranting for Vengeance took a screenshot of Scott Snyder's username and artificially planted a pride flag in there. Oh my god. There's a few words I can think of that can be used to describe this, namely loser, basement dweller, and closeted homosexual. Yes, I know that's 2 words. Shut the fuck up.
Before we get to the legendary Scott Snyder, who burned Ranting for Vengeance and roasted him by replying and bickering in some gay comment section.
Okay, another thing. Ranting for Vengeance says that Scott Snyder is bickering and replying, yet all Scott Snyder is doing is just replying. Like, Scott Snyder just says, thanks, but he's not worth your time. This is used to provoke some kind of outrage, but these days it's just incredibly boring and tired. It's true that all these guys who just cling to rage baiting, it's not provocative anymore. It's just sad. Get a new grift. It's 2025. Like, where is he bickering with people? Like, you say he's bickering and replying, right? Or he's replying and bickering with people, right? Where's the bickering, right? Like, where is he fighting people, right? He's not even attacking Ranting for Vengeance. He's just saying that it's not worth the time and effort. Like, he's conducting himself in a relatively professional manner.
First, I'm gonna have to address something which is just straight up spasticated. So this guy here is a pretty big account. Neb's Good Takes also posted about me spreading the biggest misinformation. Like, every single thing that he said here is bullshit. This kid got expelled. He was a bully who targeted minorities. These people are getting their information from other teenagers that are spreading rumors about me.
Notice how he doesn't respond to the accusations that his dad is forcing him to make these monies for revenue. Notice how he doesn't respond to that, because I notice. Listen, man, I'm not implying anything. I just find it a bit suspicious how he didn't address that accusation.
So I really don't know what you're doing with your time talking with minors all day on the internet, spreading some of the dumbest shit that nobody believes.
I'm willing to bet that only half of these theories are true. Like, he definitely got expelled from his school for targeting minorities, but I can't see his dad beating him. I can see his dad encouraging him to make these videos. I can see his dad, you know, being like, oh yeah, son, bully those minorities online. Hell yeah, call that kid the N-word on Call of Duty. I could see him being that type of father, but I can't see his father beating him. Because I feel like if his dad did beat him, then I feel like, I don't know, Irish CPS probably would have gotten involved by now.
And also, thousands of people think that I have a black eye for some reason in one of my videos, like somebody kicked my ass, when in reality, it's just a shadow cast by a light. What are you, retarded?
Okay, pal, you can't tell me that this, in no way whatsoever, does not bear any resemblance to a black eye. You can't blame people for having that thought.
Who knows, maybe I might have a black eye in the future in one of my videos because of all of the martial arts I do.
Hey, bro, who gonna tell him? Who's gonna tell him he ain't tough, bro? Who gonna tell him he ain't tough for that? Who's gonna tell me he's not tough for that, bro? Come on now.
Really, that's the only ass kicking that's going on here. Nobody's beating me up, forcing me to get in front of the camera right now. This is all off of my own will.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think his dad would be beating up, being like, you have to get in front of a camera and tell people how terrible woke is. I don't think he's doing that. But I do think he would be encouraging this. I do think he's encouraging it. I don't think he's beating his son to do it. I think he's just encouraging it.
So nobody got expelled for bullying Jewish kids. There is no Jewish people where I come from. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised that there's not a lot of Jewish people living in Ireland, because remember, Ranting for Vengeance and his family is Irish, right? And you want to know what Ireland does? You want to know what the Irish government does? It recognizes the state of Palestine. I think the reason why Ireland recognizes the state of Palestine is because Palestine, it reflects their struggles with Britain during the Troubles. If you don't know what that is, that's like a whole thing. That's like a whole section of Irish lore that I can't really explain in like a goofy YouTube commentary video. But I'm droning. I'm rambling. Let's get back to the video.
Once again, if you got a problem, I'll just kick your ass.
Hey pal, maybe next time you threaten to kick someone's ass, don't have your fucking skinny ass twig arms in the thumbnail while you're flipping someone off. Like seriously, this guy does not look tough in the slightest. He looks like a strong gust of wind could blow him over. I don't know why he's got such an ego on him.
Once again, if you got a problem, I'll just kick your ass, because if you're one of these gay freaks who talks with kids all day on the internet about other kids like me, then I really don't know what's wrong with you, and you need to go fuck yourself. And speaking of doing exactly that, we come to the world's biggest retard, Scott Snyder. Now remember when comic book writers could actually write a great comic and not really be responding and bickering with people?
All he did is respond. Like, he's not fighting with people, he's not bickering with people. He just responded to the guy saying like, oh, you shouldn't waste your breath on this kid because he's a fucking goofy goober. He didn't fight. He didn't bicker, he didn't do anything of the sort. He was just like, you shouldn't waste your time on this guy, he's just rage baiting. And then with him writing good comics, he does write good comics, like with Absolute Batman. You may not like Absolute Batman, but it was the 2024 bestseller, so clearly it's doing something right.
Well, Scott Snyder does the exact opposite, because all of his comics are slow shit, and all he does throughout his entire day is tweet at people and argue in gay little comment sections.
Now, speaking of gays, I think it's a bit weird how Ranting for Vengeance over here has photoshopped a pride flag into Scott Snyder's username for his thumbnail shot. I can think of multiple adjectives I can use to describe this decision, but I can't say a majority of them as they would result in me getting demonetized.
And that's really what they are. I'm not just calling them gay. Everybody who's attacking me here and grifting off of my content, because that's what it is, uploading clips, engagement farming, every single one of them are either black, gay, transgender, or all three.
I can confirm I'm none of those things whatsoever, right? For example, I'm not black. If I was, I'd say the N-word in my videos. I'm not gay. I like women, specifically goth women, and I'm not trans. I don't really know what to say here. I'm just not trans. Here's something that Ranting for Vengeance fans and just Ranting for Vengeance himself need to understand, right? People don't like Ranting for Vengeance. That's pretty obvious. Not because he's this sort of herald of based in a woke society. It's because all Ranting for Vengeance does on his YouTube channel is he complains about the existence of minorities in media and he calls it woke. Like, the bar for being woke in Ranting for Vengeance's eyes is so astronomically low that it's insane. Like, if the men aren't just straight, white, absolutely ripped dudes, then it's woke. And if the females aren't just straight, white, absolutely women, then it's woke propaganda. Like, the word woke has no meaning anymore because anything and everything will be labeled as woke.
So I'm not even gonna read out all of this, but Scott Snyder doesn't even roast me. He doesn't even destroy me in some badass way. No, he just comes off as a whiny little bitch.
Ranting for Vengeance calling someone else a whiny little bitch has to be one of the most ironic things I've ever seen. Like, my brother in Christ, okay? Your entire channel is just you whining and complaining about the existence of minorities in media. You have no right to call someone else a whiny bitch when all you do is sit in front of a camera and cry about the existence of minorities in your favorite piece of media.
Calling me boring and tiring and he's not worth your time. Get a new grift. It's 2025. And his main point, and all of these people's main point, is that everything I say is false. I'm not worth your time and I don't provoke anybody. I've never offended anybody in the history of ever. Yeah, I don't know who thought that this was a win, but Scott Snyder just exposed himself for being the world's biggest retard. I triggered you and provoked you enough.
I triggered and provoked you enough. Oh my god, bro, I'm crying right now. This has to be the corniest person alive. Who watches this guy? Like, genuinely, like, outside of the anti-woke people, bro, who is watching this person? Actually, no, it's just anti-woke people watching this guy, because no one else is this corny. It's all like fucking 13-year-olds that are like, I'm so tired of the gays in society, man. I need someone who really understands me. No one understands me like Ranting for Vengeance. Like, I imagine the primary audience for Ranting for Vengeance right now is either old men men or children in like the red pill era.
I triggered you and provoked you enough to come at me and start tweeting about me.
With the way he says come at me and start tweeting about me, it makes it sound like he made Scott Snyder have like a multi-day long Twitter crash out a la Vivzy Pop. And then there's also the fact, right? I'm gonna keep bringing this up. He photoshopped a pride flag into Scott Snyder's username for his thumbnail shot, bro. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm never gonna stop bringing that up. So long as he lives, I will not stop bringing it up.
Acting like a little bitch and not one of the most respected, biggest writers at DC right now. That's the bottom line for anybody watching who has a problem, and for Scott Snyder. So my content and what I do doesn't provoke any...
My sincerest apologies, folk. I just got really, really bored, and I don't know. This Ranting for Vengeance video is just really boring compared to his other ones, so I thought I'd spice it up a little. I'm not done yet. I just thought I'd let you guys know that this video is really boring compared to his other ones, bro. Where's that signature Ranting for Vengeance-ness, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. There's something with his usual videos that's missing here. Anyways, sorry for getting off topic. My sincerest apologies. Now let's get back to the video.
Acting like a little bitch and not one of the most respected, biggest writers at DC right now.
Listen, man, I've psychoanalyzed this tweet for a while now, alright? I've had some of the best psychologist people in the world evaluate this tweet, and from what it seems like, Scott Snyder, he's not coping and molding and seething like you make him out to be. Like, he says, thanks, he's not worth your time, this is just used to create some kind of outrage, these days it's just incredibly boring and tired, this is true, all these guys just cling to rage bait, it's not provocative anymore, it's just sad getting a grip to 2025, alright? Like, I don't know, okay? I don't know, Scott, for all I know, could have been like fucking pissing and shitting and crying and coming himself behind the camera. But from the context clues we have access to, it just seems like Scott Snyder was talking to a fan who was complaining about a criticism of one of his books. Not even good criticism, incredibly bad faith criticism. And Scott took that shit in strides, bro. Like, bro, if this reached Vivzy Pop, oh my god, the days-long Twitter crash out she would have had over this would be insufferable.
That's the bottom line for anybody watching who has a problem, and for Scott Snyder. So my content and what I do doesn't provoke any sort of outrage, it doesn't annoy you in any way whatsoever, then stop making videos and tweeting about me.
Listen, bro, there's one thing stopping me, the money, Skylar, where's the money? I gave it to Ranting for Vengeance's Patreon. What? You did what? You gave all our money to Ranting for Vengeance's Patreon? I don't know where this bit was meant to go. I just thought of like the money, Skylar. Where's the rest? And then I just went from there. Subscribe to me. I make good content.
Get a new grift? How about you tell that to the people who built their entire channels off of me? I'm not saying that in a narcissistic bragging way. I'm just saying that there's tons of channels out there that get 2 views until they go and make a video about me and put my face in the thumbnail, and then they go back to getting 2 views on their videos.
As much as I don't like him, he's kind of right? Especially with me, like using my channel as an example. He's definitely a reason for the third renaissance of the Snowbricks 96 channel. He's the reason I am the man who I am today. Like, the thing with Ranting for Vengeance videos is that you don't need to be like some super media literate person to realize that Ranting for Vengeance most of the time is just talking out of his ass. That's why so many people make videos on Ranting for Vengeance. It's because his videos are really easy to debunk if you've just seen the thing before. Like, with his video on the Superman movie, you don't need to be like some super media literate guy to realize that most of his points are doo-doo fart. But I think I've done enough psychology on why people make Ranting for Vengeance videos. I think we should get back to my video.
So to answer your question, Scott Snyder, of whether or not I still provoke people and offend people, you're goddamned right I do. I especially did it to like you. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up because I'm actually getting bored of talking about this shit.
Yeah, you and me both, pal. This is one of the most boring videos to ever come out from your channel, bro. Oh my god. I think I'd rather watch paint dry. I think watching paint dry would be more exciting than this crap, man. Like, this is just lacking something in the usual Ranting for Vengeance video formula. I don't know what it is, but this just doesn't feel right.
So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up because I'm actually getting bored of talking about this shit that nobody believes. It's pathetic. But to the people who support this channel, I'm just gonna continue making on the videos that I usually do about comics, video games, movies, books that I actually like, because that's what this channel is. You can go back and watch many videos where that's what I do.
Likes are for the fans, but hate pays the bills. Here's something that people don't understand, right? Hate is monetizable. You can make money off of hate, right? Hate is easy to monetize. You want to know why? Because people would much rather see something hated than something loved. All of Ranting for Vengeance's most popular videos involve him hating on something. Stuff that you like, you share with the fans. Stuff that you hate, you share with the world. My apologies for turning into Socrates for a moment there. Let's get back to the video.
It's not grifting and it's not rage bait. It's just a normal YouTube channel that you have a problem with because you disagree with me.
Here's the thing, buddy. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't really care. It's just a high schooler with a YouTube channel talking about the comics, manga, video games he enjoys. But because you've gone out of your way to create and cultivate this image and define yourself as an anti-woke creator hating on everything that doesn't fit your imaginary standards of based, quote-unquote, people aren't really going to like you, especially when your criticisms of some of this quote-unquote woke content is so outrageous and nonsensical.
And newsflash to all of you, all of the he, him, they, boy, pronoun in bio Twitter users that are all gay, black, and trans, nobody gives a shit. There's a lot of people out there who are fed up with the system and the establishment, people like you and Scott Snyder.
Hey bro, one of those things does not belong. What does Scott Snyder have to do with the system and the establishment? Right? What do gay, black, trans people have to do with the system and the establishment?
So if anybody needs to move on and get a brand new grift, it is people like Scott Snyder and all of these retards. Nobody wants to hear about how fascist white people are bad anymore. Nobody wants to hear your made up stories about how I'm going around like some sort of psychopath. Take all of that bullshit that nobody cares about anymore, shove it up your ass and get a new grift yourself. And if you're one of those people out there who's making streams, channels, videos, tweets, getting Scott Snyder to engage with you, spreading rumors of bullshit that nobody believes, bitching and whining because somebody has a different opinion, you're retarded and you need to go complain to your boyfriend.
I think it would be really funny if there was like a left-leaning Ranting for Vengeance. If there was like the opposite of Ranting for Vengeance, like liberal for vengeance, communism for vengeance. You know what I'm saying? And instead of go complain to your boyfriend, it was go complain to your girlfriend. That would have been funny. That would be funny. Someone do that. Anyways, I think that's gonna be it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment down below. Be sure to join my Discord and become a channel member. Link to my Discord server in the description below. Comment of the week status goes to Schnickenpick. If you want to be the comment of the week, all you have to do is be the first person to comment on this video, and I'll give you a shout out. And with that all being said, I'm out. Peace. Red, let me tell you something. I don't trust people who take naps. Okay, Frank, well, if that's your opinion, then there's nothing I can really say or do to change that. I love Israel! You know, I was originally planning a different video surrounding the Punisher, but Ranting for Vengeance really forced my hand on this one. Especially considering how viral this video went, it would be a fool of me to not react to it. And on that note, be sure to sit back, relax, and let me tell you something.
As a fan of the Marvel Comics character, the Punisher, seeing Jon Bernthal butcher it every single time is one of the most idiotic things out there. The guy doesn't look or act anything like the Punisher, and the fake fans Marvel and Jon Bernthal himself act like this retard is the only Punisher.
So what Vengeance is saying, or what he's trying to say, is that Jon Bernthal is a fake woke tourist LARPer, and he only thinks that his version of the Punisher is the real one. This is factually incorrect because Jon Bernthal has publicly admitted to reading several Punisher comics. I mean, in the new print of Punisher Welcome Back, Frank, there's literally a foreword by Jon Bernthal. So no, Jon Bernthal doesn't act like he's the only Punisher.
So I've talked about this a good few times, but I'm going to keep on doing it because there isn't many people on the internet that actually give a shit about Frank Castle as a character. The ground rules for the Punisher, if you've read any of his actual comics, and no revisionism from the 2000s from people who can't write comic books like Garth Ennis. Number one is that the Punisher is a hero. And if you want to argue, you could at least say that he's an anti-hero.
I would also argue against the fact that he says that Punisher is a hero. I mean, to him, he might be a hero, but Punisher is quite literally the definition of an anti-hero. An anti-hero is defined as a protagonist that's lacking in heroic qualities while not being explicitly evil. And that sums up Punisher perfectly.
Number one is that the Punisher is a hero. And if you want to argue, you could at least say that he's an anti-hero, but by no means is he a psychopathic villain. Rule number 2 is only talk about the Punisher if you know what he was based off of.
Right now, he's explaining characters that the Punisher took influence from, and I feel like that's not really relevant to the whole discussion we're having right now, and so I figured I would just interject at a random moment when he says something that I can actually respond to.
He only got revenge on the people who deserved it, not innocent people, just like the Punisher.
I'm not sure exactly what point Big Vengeance is trying to make here. Like, okay, this guy doesn't target innocent people, yet neither does Punisher. When has John Bernthal's Punisher ever gone out of his way to target innocent people? I'd like someone to name one time that John Bernthal's Punisher has gone out of his way to hurt innocent people. Once again, this is just another long-winded rant about what characters the Punisher are supposed to be based off of. Like, cool beans, dude, but I'm not exactly sure where you're going with this. My guess is that he's building it up to say, John Bernthal's Punisher resembles none of these characters whatsoever. And what's crazy is that, for me personally, I don't really like John Bernthal's portrayal of the Punisher all that much. But Ranting for Vengeance's quote-unquote points are so completely stupid.
That's the main stuff that you need to acknowledge if you're calling yourself a Punisher fan.
Let me give you guys the quick AI-generated summary of what Ranting for Vengeance said. Basically, Ranting for Vengeance said that if you want to be a Punisher fan, then by his standards, you need to have extensive knowledge on Death Wish, the Rambo franchise, James Bond, and the Executioner. This is stupid. Why would I jump through all of these hoops just to be called a Punisher fan when I could just, read his comics?
But along with that comes a lot of other small stuff that people just seem to forget because they don't read any of the comics. Like, Frank Castle is fully sane. He always wears the Punisher outfit with the skull, sometimes with a trench coat over it. That is his only outfit. Unless he's in disguise or something, the guy can't be running around in a hoodie. It just doesn't make sense.
Okay, how do you know that he's not in disguise during this scene? Did you watch the Punisher special ahead of time? Did you time travel and watch it? I guarantee you there will be little to no critical commentary of John Bernthal's performance as the Punisher. It's just going to be Ranting for Vengeance going through the trailer, nitpicking it like CinemaSins.
Also, he's Italian and usually has some sort of 80s mullet haircut or just slicked back hair. He doesn't have a Jew fro because the Punisher, Frank Castle, is not a Jewish character.
Big fella! Big fella! Sit down, big fella!
What the fuck are you talking about? First of all, how are you gonna insult anyone's hairstyle when you have a greasy bowl cut? I didn't even know it was possible for a bowl cut to be greasy. Also, right, I might be out of the loop, but genuinely, where the fuck is Ranting for Vengeance getting the Punisher Jewish stuff from? Like, genuinely, what the fuck is Ranting for Vengeance talking about? I'm so confused.
And I gotta be honest, if there was a Jewish character and an Italian guy pulled up and started playing him, it would make no sense and a lot of people would just riot.
What the fuck is he talking about? Does he have schizophrenia or something? Or do I have schizophrenia? Because I genuinely, I don't know what the fuck Ranting for Vengeance is talking about here. Like, this kid, he just says shit. Like, he just says shit and people believe it somehow. Deadass, anyone outside of the anti-woke grift space just realizes that this kid is full of shit. And somehow, this kid just keeps spewing the most bullshit I've ever heard, and he gets away with it every time.
But for some reason, John Bernthal is allowed to parade around as the Punisher when he looks and acts nothing like him, and he doesn't match the character's ethnicity. So with that all out of the way, we get to the R-rated TV presentation written by John Bernthal, The Punisher: One Last Kill. Which is very fitting because John Bernthal is a woke retard in real life and knows nothing about the Punisher or his character. Why would it be called One Last Kill when that's all that the character does?
Listen, I hate to agree with Ranting for Vengeance here, but he does kind of have a point. My main complaint with MCU Punisher is that he's always a reluctant character. Whenever it's a new series and the Punisher makes an appearance, for some reason he's always retired. In the Punisher Netflix show, he was retired. In Daredevil Born Again Season 1, he was retired, and now in Punisher One Last Kill, he was retired. I'm tired of seeing Punisher as a reluctant character that's nothing like him. That being said, I am interested to see how Punisher One Last Kill is gonna go. And when the trailer came out, by no means did I just sit down and record myself going through and pointing out every minor flaw like CinemaSins.
It's immediately an oxymoron, makes no sense, and it's because John Bernthal is writing this. We're not getting a Punisher show, and we're not even getting a brand new modernized version of Frank Castle. We're just getting an entirely different character which is some schizophrenic retard running around chasing after black kids or something. And I'm not going through this shitty trailer scene by scene, but I'll just give you the highlight reel of spastication right now, which consists of fake Jewish Frank Castle in a hoodie having schizophrenic breakdowns whilst indie hipster music plays in the background.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that? I'm sorry, man. I wasn't thinking about it.
Since Ranting for Vengeance is apparently incapable of describing anything in good faith, let me break it down for y'all. Basically, the Punisher was drawn out of retirement because a girl was kidnapped right in front of him. That's really just all you need to know right there.
Scenes that look like they're from John Wick instead of the Punisher. Really, how hard is it to shoot a fight scene or an action scene that looks like it came out of Die Hard or Rambo or Commando? Instead of some John Wick ripoff, which is John Bernthal jumping through walls, jumping on top of people, and jumping off of buildings.
What is this fucking Cinema Sins level criticism, bro? This is so fucking stupid. This is dead ass, just a Cinema Sins video. Well, why doesn't the action look like this? Well, why doesn't the action look like this? Well, why doesn't the action look like this? Blah, blah, blah. This kid never has any actual criticism. He just says shit. His quote-unquote criticism is just, this is woke and retarded. This is all he does. This is all this kid does. He doesn't do shit. He does the bare minimum, calls someone a retard for 8 minutes, and then it's just like, well, job well done. It baffles me how people are fans of his content. It baffles me. This fucking guy is saying nothing, basically. Words are coming out of his mouth. Those words mean nothing. It's just random shit.
And it's basically spoiling its own story, saying that Frank Castle is trying to live a normal life, once again with a beard and a hoodie, just trying to sit in a blank room and look at a wall like a psycho. And there's some criminals or something that break into his apartment building, and he has to set himself on fire, start screaming like a mental retard, and dive through a wall.
So, bro, the Punisher didn't set himself on fire in the trailer, but what the fuck is this kid talking about? I swear to God, dude. And then for John Bernthal screaming, people have a tendency to scream when they're angry and get in a fight. Fucking hell, man, this kid's just Cinema Sins. He's Cinema Sins reincarnated, I swear to God.
I don't know who approved any of this garbage, but he's not even wearing the skull logo. This dude is just screaming, running after people, and lighting himself on fire.
First of all, he wears the Punisher skull logo at the end of the trailer. Second of all, I don't have to explain this. I already went over the fucking fire and the screaming. This kid's so fucking dumb. I swear to God, it's driving me insane. This fucking kid says the dumbest shit of all time, and yet somehow people still believe him. They still believe him. Even when he says the stupidest shit of all time, they still believe him. They're still friends with him. How? How is this possible?
They always said that Charlie Kirk was a Nazi, then they celebrated after they killed him. They tried to tell us the Black Lives Matter and that white people have always been villains. They burning flags in the streets and they scream at the
Well, I think I'm probably going to end the video here. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as leave a hype. I'm not really sure what hypes do. I just like seeing big numbers next to my name. Be sure to become a channel member and join my Discord server, link in the description below. Comment of the week status goes to Forza Dorian Pro. If you want comment of the week status, all you have to do is be the first person to comment on one of my videos, and you'll receive a shout out in the next one. And with that all having been said, I'm out. Peace. I know what you're thinking. Oh, Snowbricks, you said you didn't want to be woke in your last video, but you're making another Ranting for Vengeance video? Well, the last Ranting for Vengeance video I made was on February, and in my wokeness contract I signed with BlackRock, I'm contractually obligated to make a Ranting for Vengeance video once every quarter moon. But enough of me yapping. All you need to know is that the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer came out, and it deeply offended Ranting for Vengeance. And without further ado, let's get into the video.
Spider-Man Brand New Day is the most retarded piece of shit I've seen in a very long time. Somehow 4 movies into Tom Holland's run as Spider-Man still has him falling around the place, acting like a complete handicap.
I mean, the reason he's falling in this trailer is because he's gaining a new set of powers and his old ones are fading, so, I don't really know what your nitpick is here.
Even with 4 movies and a new universe under his belt, this guy still manages to be the biggest cock known to man.
Even if it breaks Peter Parker's heart.
Listen, man, I can't tell if Ranting for Vengeance is being disingenuous or if he genuinely just has not kept up with, like, the last few MCU Spider-Man movies. Basically, the reason why MJ is with a different guy instead of Peter is because Doctor Strange casted a spell to make everyone forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, but in doing so, he made everyone forget Peter Parker existed.
What if everyone forgot who I was?
What?
They're coming here because of me, right? Because I'm Peter Parker? So cast a new spell. But this time make everyone forget who Peter Parker is. Make everyone forget.
And now Ranting's trying to say that Peter got cucked? Like, okay, brosif, okay, buddy.
Yeah, and just because they shittily recreated some classic comic covers doesn't make this absolute cinema anywhere near good. Especially for the people who are hyping this up and saying that it's amazing. You haven't read any of the comics that they're referencing. And also, ignoring all of that, it just looks like it was made by AI for spastics on Twitter who eat up every single piece of goy slop they get fed.
This is your Lord and Savior, the Big Ben Yahoo. I am here to thank you for being such a good goy and supporting Israel. Please let me know if you want to apply for a 0% interest loan.
Listen, man, me personally, I'm a bit conflicted here. You want to know why? Because on one hand, the comic covers, the classic comic covers, they do look kind of weird when recreated in live action. It does kind of look like they used AI for it, and it just gives me a weird feeling. But on the other hand, Ranting for Vengeance says it in such an obnoxious and assholey way. It just makes me want to disagree with him, bro. Like, this guy just brings up goy slop out of nowhere, bro. This guy just brings up goyness out of nowhere. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? Oy vey, Goyam, this guy stinks.
Before we get into it, if you like these type of videos and if you want to help out the channel, maybe consider subscribing or supporting me over on Patreon. And if you're somebody who's hate watching this video, then just know that it's not rage bait, it's not lying, it's not misinformation. This isn't coming from somebody who doesn't read comic books.
Listen, man, Ranting for Vengeance might read comics, but he has the reading comprehension of a JJK fan.
This is just the truth. That Spider-Man Brand New Day isn't comic accurate, it's not a good Spider-Man movie, and it does so many things that go against the entire Marvel Universe.
Listen, man, I'm gonna say something that might be a bit of a hot take, okay? Comic accuracy does not always mean a good media franchise. Okay, I know, it's shocking, I know, it's horrifying to think about even. For example, most of the large arcs like the Viltrumite War, the Invincible War, all that kind of stuff, those are directly adapted from the comics, and those are the good parts of the comics that people want to see adapted to the show. However, some of the weaker arcs or some of the weaker moments from the comics are either cut out or removed and improved. Take Mark talking with Eve's dad in the comics versus the show. In the comics, he says some pretty gross stuff about Eve being a virgin and he chose his wife because she wasn't self-confident and all this stuff that's kind of gross. But in the show, he talks about how he thinks that Mark shouldn't be with Eve because he's putting her in danger with his superhero position, and how he doesn't want Eve to be in danger. That, in my opinion, is a good example of something being changed from the comics for the better. And circling back to what I was saying, no, comic accuracy does not automatically equal masterpiece.
Spider-Man as a character and superheroes in general, so it can't be accepted than anything else other than just plain garbage. Any real fan of Spider-Man would reject this bullshit on the spot. Stop trying to nostalgia bait people and pull them in because you recreated Spider-Man's first cover. How about you actually adapt Amazing Fantasy number 15?
I mean, they can't really adapt Amazing Fantasy 15 because that's his origin story, and they kind of already did his origin story in the MCU, so you're kind of SOL there, buddy.
Then you'd have a good movie on your hands and not whatever the fuck Spider-Cuck is meant to be here. So this isn't going to be some 20-minute video because we already know the deal with this movie. It looks like the biggest piece of shit known to man, made by Grok in an afternoon. But as you expect, it has all of the NPCs who don't read comic books and have definitely never read these Spider-Man comic books and are just eating this up because it's a brand new Marvel product that they need to love, and it can't be anything other than a 10 out of 10. Before I continue, that's a little message for the type of people who love this stuff and attack people who have any different opinion. You know—
Wait, so Ranting for Vengeance is getting mad at people who attack others for not having the same opinions as them. Dude, the irony just can't stop coming, bro. I'm getting new shipments of iron every day, alright? I've taken 1,000 times my recommended daily dose of iron already, okay? How is Ranting for Vengeance, of all people, gonna get mad at others for attacking people that have differing opinions? How is Ranting for Vengeance, of all people, gonna try and morally grandstand over people that attack others for having differing opinions?
But you can just turn around and say, Spider-Man Brand New Day doesn't look nearly as good as any other Spider-Man movie ever made.
You know, you didn't have to make this video, right? You could have just said, hey, I don't think Spider-Man Brand New Day is for me. Okay, guys? And that's the end of the story, but no, you have to make this about, like, oh, the Lokis! They're ruining Spider-Man! Spider-Man has always been based on the Lokis ruining it!
Because being objective, that's what this movie is. No matter what way you look at it, it's a complete failure in writing and as a Spider-Man movie.
How do you know this information? How do you know that the movie is a complete failure in writing? How do you know that it's a complete failure as a Spider-Man movie? Can you see the future? Listen, Big Vengeance, if you can see the future, alright, maybe we can work something out between us. I'll make us a ton of money. Just please tell me who's running for President of the United States in 2028, bro. Please tell me. I bet all my money on Poly Market for Drewski running as the 2028 Democratic primary. Please!
The only good Spider-Man movies ever made that were comic accurate and objectively the best were Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy.
Wait. So you're gonna get mad at all the other Spider-Man movies for being doo-doo fart cheeks, and then you're gonna say that your favorite fucking Spider-Man trilogy is Sam Raimi's? I don't know about you guys, but the math isn't fucking math in here. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, MJ is a lot more unfaithful to Peter than Zendaya's MJ is.
It wasn't the Christopher Nolan Amazing Spider-Man 1, and it wasn't the cringe race swap rom-com music video that was the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Dude, this is what pissed me off about Vengeance, right? Big Vengeance, he'll get mad at characters being black when their skin tone has no effect on their character. Like, if they made someone like Black Panther white, I would understand why people are mad, because Black Panther was originally created to, like, represent black comic book readers. But with someone like Electro, him being black does not affect his character in any major way whatsoever. I don't get what his deal is.
And by God, was it not Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse, because those aren't Spider-Man movies. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Miles Morales is a kid from the hood.
You serious?
I genuinely have no clue what the fuck Ranting for Vengeance is smoking, because Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse are two of the best animated movies I've ever seen. But because the main character of the Spider-Verse movies is a black person, Vengeance is contractually obligated to just shit on it. I guarantee you, if Peter Parker was the main character of the Spider-Verse movies, Vengeance would be glazing them to no end.
Which in every iteration never fails to be political, obnoxious, and retarded. But anyways, moving back to Spider-Man Brand New Day, I can't believe it, they recreated the first Spider-Man cover. How about you actually read that comic and then you'll realize why the movie looks garbage. Read any issue from the Steve Ditko Spider-Man run and it'll debunk any leftist on Twitter and every single Spider-Man movie that followed.
That's why you should read the Steve Ditko runs. Not because they're good, not because they're actually good, not because, you know, the content of them is amazing, but so you can own the libs on Twitter. I'm not even gonna say that the Lee and Ditko run is bad, I'm just saying that Ranting for Vengeance's reason for liking it is stupid. Why would you just read something for the sole purpose of owning the libs?
Except the Sam Raimi ones, which took inspiration from the original and best Steve Ditko Spider-Man comics. That's one thing I'll say, I'm not a Spider-Man expert. I haven't read every single era and every single comic, but I have read the Steve Ditko stuff, which I love.
So, Vengeance, you're telling me that you're gonna sit here and you're gonna be all judgmental of what Spider-Man media people consume, and you're gonna tell me that the fucking, read the comics, you're telling me that the fucking read the comics guy hasn't gotten past the Lee and Ditko run. Are you fucking kidding me?
Any person that knows anything about comics knows that the Steve Ditko run is the only one really worth a shit. Even the annoying Marxist himself, Alan Moore, thought the exact same thing. And sorry to break it to you, Steve Ditko created Spider-Man, and by no means was he a leftist or a Marxist or Jewish.
Is he stupid? You do realize that Spider-Man was created by Steve Ditko and Stan Lee, right? And to top it all off, Ranting for Vengeance says, oh, Steve Steve Ditko wasn't a wokey, and he wasn't Jewish either. Which, to be fair, alright, that is true. Steve Ditko was an atheist, and he was an objectivist. However, Stan Lee was not only Jewish, but he was extremely socially progressive for his time. I mean, the entire reason Black Panther was created was so that black comic readers could have a character that they could relate to. And the X-Men were created as an allegory for the civil rights movement in the United States.
Which kind of sounds weird, but trust me, there's a lot of people out there that believe that Peter Parker, Spider-Man, is a Jewish communist. Which there's just so many contradictions. Like, didn't Aunt May and Uncle Ben get buried in a graveyard? And didn't Spider-Man ask for consent before kissing Mary Jane? Just small stuff like that. Like, Spider-Man crawls on walls and buildings. He doesn't really crawl in sewers. So he can't really be Jewish, right? But I'll move on from that very quickly. All you need to know is that Spider-Man Peter Parker can't be Jewish, because when he's swinging around saving the day, helping some children out, he actually returns them home. He doesn't bring them to an island and...
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You know, I let that clip play out in full because I'm not exactly sure what it was supposed to be. Like, I think it was an attempt from Ranting for Vengeance to be humorous, because he rarely ever makes jokes in his videos. And if it was a joke, it fucking sucked.
Yeah, my point on Amazing Fantasy is that, oh yeah, nobody's read it, so why are you celebrating this? These two comics right here were also referenced, and look 10 times better on the comic cover than they do in the CGI slop that is this trailer. And I'll be upfront, I haven't read these two comics. I'm really...
Filthy monkey.
He's real!
Oh my god, bro, this guy's not the comic authority. He hasn't even read the comics that he's talking about, bro. This fucking guy. Why am I here? He's doing my job for me. Why do I need to be making this video?
I'm really not a fan of Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man. I tried reading it. It's really just not good, like anything made by Todd McFarlane.
Does Spawn not ring a bell? Actually, no. Never mind. Ranting for Vengeance wouldn't like Spawn, because, you know, Spawn's black.
And I don't really know anything about the other one, but I'm not really shocked that you managed to create just a pose of Spider-Man crawling on a wall. Well done. You could have done that for like 40 fucking years. But we're supposed to celebrate it now when you include one slow motion shot. How about you adapt an actual storyline from a Spider-Man comic and don't just make little references in slow motion shots that nobody even knows what they're from.
Once again, 100% comic accuracy does not a good story make. Don't get me wrong, I like it when stories are closer to their source adaptation, and comic book movies are no different. But when you're saying that there is no room for improvement whatsoever and everything must be 100% comic accurate all the time, it's just not that good, man.
You see here Spider-Man learning to use his powers again because now he has organic webs. For some weird reason, it makes zero sense, and it's a complete de-evolution of his character arc. And I don't even know why I'm using the phrase character arc, because Tom Holland's Spider-Man doesn't have one. He started off as a kid trying to learn how to use his powers, and eventually he got the hang of it. Oh wait, he didn't. He's still falling around on the ground like a spastic and running around after fake black MJ.
Nice flowers.
Oh, they're a housewarming gift.
I'm MJ. I'm MJ.
I swear to God, every single video Ranting for Vengeance uploads about MCU Spider-Man, he always has to mention MJ, right? I don't know what this guy's issue is, but he has just this fucking raging hate boner for MJ. Like, if you go to some of his older videos on MCU Spider-Man and take a shot every time he mentions MJ, you will pass out of liver failure before the video ends.
See, with classic 80s badass comic characters like Spider-Man and Daredevil, when they couldn't get with their main chick, they usually had somebody else like Black Widow, Elektra, Black Cat. Except Tom Holland doesn't have any of that. So basically, he's a cuck. Just like in the modern garbage Spider-Man comics, Peter Parker has to sit there and watch MJ go out with black dudes.
Oh my god, bro. There's no stop with this guy. Black people, black people, black people. I'm ranting for vengeance. I hate black people.
Superhero movies and superheroes in general try to relate to their audience. And now this kind of makes sense. Because back with Tobey Maguire, Maguire, he might miss a date with MJ and it might mess up his relationship, and the people watching could relate to that because they actually had relationships in real life. Now Spider-Man is a cuck to black MJ and her black boyfriend, and I think everybody in the audience of Spider-Man Brand New Day enjoying it can relate to that. Because you seriously have to be a pathetic piece of shit to actually get excited for something like Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Why the fuck is he so pissed off? He's like, oh, you have to be a pathetic piece of shit if you like Spider-Man Brand New Day. Like, goddamn, dude, but what did Spider-Man Brand New Day do to this guy? Why is he hating so much on Spider-Man Brand New Day, bro? What did Spider-Man Brand New Day do to you? What, did Spider-Man Brand New Day step on your shoes? Did Spider-Man Brand New Day punch you in the face? Did Spider-Man Brand New Day bully you in high school?
Now, I'm not dictating what people can like. I'm just saying if you're a Spider-Man fan, and if you call yourself that, then you can't really like this movie. I'm not dictating what people can like.
I'm not dictating what people can like. I'm not dictating what people can like. I'm not dictating what people can like.
I'm just saying if you're a Spider-Man fan, and if you call yourself that, then
You can't really like this movie.
I'm not dictating what people can like.
You just said that you're not dictating what people can and can't like, right? You're just not dictating what people can and can't like. But then you go on this rant saying that, oh, well, if you're a real Spider-Man fan, then you're not excited for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Dude, irony, irony, irony. I'm dying from iron overdose here, man.
It's not me telling you you can't like it. It's basically just the years of comics with Spider-Man telling you it. That objectively, this isn't a Spider-Man movie.
The amount of gatekeeping that Irish Leafy over here is doing pisses me off so much. Like, dude, imagine trying to gatekeep Spider-Man. That's impossible. You're gatekeeping like one of the most beloved characters of all time. That's like trying to gatekeep cheese or fucking gatekeep candy or gatekeep ice cream, bro. It's impossible. Now, I'm gonna say what might be considered a hot take to some, but with a character like Spider-Man, where there's so much media of him, not just comics, but TV shows, movies, video games, so much media of him, I feel like you don't have to read the comics to be a fan of Spider-Man, right? You don't have to do, like, what Ranting for Vengeance is saying in order to be a fan of Spider-Man. If you're a fan of Spider-Man, I would recommend reading the comics. But what Ranting for Vengeance is doing here, he's being so fucking snooty and uppity about it. He's like, oh, well, if you haven't read fucking the Steve Ditko, if you haven't read the Steve Ditko and Stan Lee run, then you're just not a real fucking Spider-Man fan, dude, and you should low-key just kill yourself. Like, what he's doing pisses me off so much. These gatekeepers, they just ruin everything because they're just so fucking snooty about who can and can't be in their little secret club of people who, you know, touch themselves to Spider-Man.
And this tweet here is saying that Spider-Man fighting the hand is from some random comic that nobody read. And I can tell you right now what Spider-Man fighting the hand is. It's a middle finger in the face of every single Daredevil and Wolverine fan out there. Because anybody that knows anything about Marvel Comics knows that the hand is the enemy of Daredevil, Wolverine. Sure, the hand can fight other characters, but it's mainly Daredevil and Wolverine, and that's when they were best shown.
Oh my god, bro. Different characters can have the same villains, right? The fucking Wilson Fisk is a villain for Spider-Man, but I don't see you crying that he's also a Daredevil villain.
Jiggle fuck with chicken, suckle jiggle bang, been jiggle fuck with Armin for a while, jiggle tang, Armin on the Dukins, fuck was on.
Well, it's finally over. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to become a channel member and join my Discord server, link in the description below. Also, be sure to leave a hype on this video. I'm not really sure what hypes do. I just like seeing big numbers next to my name. Comment of the week status goes to Schnickenpick. If you want comment of the week status, all you have to do is be the first person to comment on a video, and I'll give you a shout out in the next one. And with that all being said, I'm out. Peace.